Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Unfiltered. The real
Let's see who else is watching right now.
planning.
We got Bebo in the house.
Ya van a comenzar.
Wacky Wednesday.
B-Town's very own.
Hey, it's
It's
only
Wacky
20 comments
Wednesday
here.
con El
Look, your mom's
Bumper.
watching
Here's your
too.
host, Bumper Gomez.
Says hello.
Hello.
That's your mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Damn, they're already starting. They're already starting, fool.
No. Look, click on it. Look. Just click on it. Press like that. There you go.
Okay.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. Again, I am in the presence of Tejano royalty, in a sense, and who knows, maybe future Tejano royalty. But I'm just happy that they're both here, man. So again, guys, welcome to Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. I do this every single Wednesday, Facebook Live. Everybody tuning in from YouTube, thank you. We just started the new YouTube channel, Keeping Up with Bumper. You guys need to check it out. If you haven't subscribed to it, you're missing out on some good behind-the-scenes footage of when we do stuff like this. You just never know what you can get. We already have 3 episodes out. The 4th one we're working on already, so make sure you get out there and subscribe to the channel. Well, without further ado, man, my guest tonight, El Zurdo de Oro, Mr. Michael Salgado.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. I mean, we're alive and we're breathing, and so everything's good.
Llegó Michael bien vestido. Le dije, man, bro, I'm wearing a baseball cap, shorts with a cast. Vato, ¿cómo ves?
Nobody told me the dress code. No, I like to always be ready all the time. Yeah.
That's it, man. You'd rather be up than down, right? Me
Yes,
dressed
sir.
up than dressed down. And, you know, to your guys' right, my far left is his son, man. Andres, welcome to the show, bro.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
We're doing great. It's 420, bro, and I
It's
know
420.
I know you
Wow.
could be out with your friends just doing bigger and better things, but you're stuck in the studio talking to this old guy.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
Llega la tierra.
Good advice. Good
There
conversations.
you go. For sure, man. So, Mike, what you been up to, dude? I saw you guys Tejano Explosion. Got to hang out with you for a little bit. But you guys have been busy, bro.
Yeah, staying busy. Gracias a Dios. You know, it picked up a lot since, COVID 2020, and kind of everybody was shut down, and really grateful. Gracias a Dios que we're able to start, working again. Kind of things are kind of getting normal again. Thank God. And of course, you can't, put your guard down. But overall, it's been pretty busy. This 2021, we worked pretty much most of the year. Was good. Gracias a Dios. I think people were ready to get back out there and do things.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2022 now we'll also started up working. And of course that Tejano Explosion event was actually the first time I did a couple of things there. One of the things I did there was with mariachi. I kind of presented my new song there and did kind of a full blown mariachi there. And the first time ever I'd done my country stuff with a country band. So that was kind of cool, because always when I do some shows here and there, I do it with playback, so it's a little different, It's just kind of me up there.
Right.
But with the band, it's just a different feel, and so that was really cool. I think people enjoyed it as well, and
I did. When I seen the dude out there with the steel guitar sitting down, I was like, "A la chingada, this dude's doing it for real." This is
yeah, man. He did a great job, Kenny, and all the rest of the guys. Junior, Lasso, and all the guys out there that were performing that day. And we're hoping to do some more stuff like that in the future, kind of put some packages together where I can do, because I'm doing right now, I've recorded already about 4 mariachi songs, and I'm looking to record a couple more to do kind of an EP mariachi, Canciones de Mariachi con Michael Salgado. And so I did a few tributes to Vicente, porque pues el gran leyenda Vicente, que ya no está con nosotros, que en paz descanse. I did Botas de Charro. I did Acá Entre Nos that I did that night,
Right.
And Cruz de Olvido is another song, Aquellos Ojitos Verdes, de por allá de Antonio Aguilar, ¿no? Entonces, varios temas que conoce la gente pues de todo, muchos años, ¿no? Entonces, I did those songs and kind of hoping to do an EP for that. But the first single that will be coming out here soon, I don't have a date yet. I got to get with my son Mike, right? We're setting up a date already. The video's already recorded for the song Aquellos Ojitos Verdes. And so, we've got that, putting that together for everybody to check out. That'll be on my channel, which is official Michael Salgado. Make sure to subscribe and check out all the stuff we got on there. My latest video, I guess, on there is She Thinks My Name is Whiskey, the country song. And, but, we're just, there's so much going on right now. Trying to put that together. The country, I'm also going to be recording, or actually I've already recorded a song entitled I'll Take It From Here. And it's going to be released on Father's Day. It's kind of a father-son song, right?
Right.
And where the dad's telling him, I'll take it from here. And then time passes and the son says, I'll take it from here. And so it's got a great story behind it.
That video's got to be, video is going to be awesome.
It's going to have to be really good. And, I just think that if you have your dad, you're close to your dad, or you've lost your dad, or, it's going to hit a nerve, It's one of those tear-jerker type of songs. There's also another country song that I'll be working on this coming month of May. It's entitled If I'm Gone. It's also another tear-jerker type of song because it talks, the wife is, she got some news, and I think it has to do with cancer because it talks about radiation and chemo, and the family shaved their head.
All that in the song?
Yeah, in the song. And so it's really a heartfelt type of song. If you've gone through this, thank God, I haven't experienced those things, but I know there's a lot of people,
definitely,
families that have experienced that. And it just talks about, she's telling the husband, if I'm gone, make sure to, here's your favorite recipes, and here's some things you'll need. And
Mike, that's a lot of stuff in one song,
yeah,
bro.
man. It talks about, she's telling him, make sure to call her children every day. And just a real sad type of song, but that'll come out later this year. So I'm putting some songs together, but my goal is to put out there. So if any promoters are listening, right, my goal is to put out a show where I can do mariachi, my band, and the country like I did at Down Explosion, right? Something like that put together. Of course, it's a different type of budget, but
that's that's literally like carrying around 3 bands, man.
Yeah. So and I think that with a mariachi, sometimes I'll be able to find a mariachi in the city where I'm doing it. The country band, I may have to take the guys that I'm using, and maybe there might be some guys in big cities that can.
So you're gonna need 2 buses, bro.
May need 2 buses there. So 4. But it's gonna be. I think it'll be a bigger show for everybody, something different that they haven't seen. And Michael Salgado, of course, I'm gonna do with the band all our hits. Cruz de Madera,
right?
Todos los éxitos, and then of course, a little bit of mariachi for people who like mariachi and the people who like country. And so, some people were saying, well, it's going to be kind of a lot of cultures mixed, and I don't know if it's going to work. But if you don't do it, if you don't try it, you never know.
Mike, I'm going to cut you off right there. I'm going to speak on that. When you speak of Tejano, Norteño, mariachi, country music, that's Texas, bro.
Yeah.
That's who we are. That's our cultura. Right. If it's hard for you to accept that country music's part of our cultura, then I don't know what to tell you. You haven't been living in Texas long enough. Most, I'm not going to say most, but I know me, you could go through my playlist and you're going to find a Michael song, and then it's going to go to a George Strait song, right. And then it you know what I mean? It could just go to something else. It's just, right. That's just who we are. You know what I mean?
It's kind of how we grew up. And like for me, my brother, Ernie, we grew up in Los Ranchos, on the farm, very young. As far as I can remember, my life starting, was on a farm road up there in Hermely, Texas, by Snyder, Sweetwater, those areas. And we grew up on a farm. My dad was a farmer, so that's how we grew up, right? And we listened to country, like we listened to Ramon Ayala, and we listened to Mariachi Vicente. So there was a little bit of everything involved. And, just us growing up in Texas, we grew up. I was driving John Deere tractors at 11 years old. So, you were hearing.
So the video of you on a tractor is real. Like, it's not made up. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing up here.
Yeah. It's been a while, right? But I remember, driving a 12-row planter. You know, my uncle would show up from the city, as we would say, right? Because we live on a farm, and we used to say howdy, right? Back in the day. I remember hearing a guy, we played in up in Sonora, Texas, right? Probably a month ago or so. And when I was walking into the store, the guy says howdy, and it brought me back to when I was, that's how we said hi. So one of my uncles, when we would go to the city, you know, as they say, up in Stanton, it had about 3,000 people, but for us, it was a city. And so my uncle would say, what do you mean howdy? I mean, you're supposed to say hi. And I'm like, well, that's what we say on the farm, right? That's how we grew up. We were farm boys up until about 16, 15 years old. That's all we knew, the farm life.
Baling hay?
Yeah, all that stuff, right? And driving tractors and chopping cotton and, you know, all that good stuff. I mean, I used to break land at 10, 11 years old. I mean, now you wouldn't have any kid do that probably, but...
Puro child labor lot,
right? My dad, I remember my parents, they had to go to Stanton. We lived in Rankin, Texas.
Yeah.
And my dad said, look, when you get out of school, you know, a tractor's there and it's ready. And so get on it and go work that field over there, blah, blah, blah. And
At 10, 11 years old,
man. And then we had a little Datsun truck, and it was standard at that, right? And I used to drive that Datsun truck to the field.
In first gear the whole way.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's crazy because we knew how to drive standard really young.
Right.
So I drove that. I mean, you can get a kid do that now, but back then we drove it. I drove it out to the field and got out there, and I think I worked the field until one of the hydraulic lines busted, right? And so I had to go home. And then I was home there in El Rancho, like we lived like, you know, it almost looked like a mile into the ranch, pero that's how we kind of grew up. So when I was on the tractors, plus I was listening to traditional country like George Jones, Merle Haggard, Ronnie Millsap, you know, John Anderson, Ricky Skaggs. That's what was playing on the radio then, right?
Right.
And so I grew up with that, and I would sing those songs, you know, I wouldn't change a single thing. So I would sing all that stuff on. And so when we started, my dad decided, you know, he wanted to make a band because he used to have a band when we were younger, you know, 7 years old. He used to have his own band. And when we were in Rankin, you know, lived in a few farms, went to Rankin, then he decided he wanted to make a band. But even before then, me and my dad, like, he always was the type that had music at home, and es una persona alegre. He doesn't like to
all
be,
kinds of music, country,
right? He used to
Western.
listen, and we listened a lot. We used to listen a lot to Ramon Ayala, right? I mean, that's why I grew up. He was a big influence for me because that's, you know, salía algo nuevo Ramon Ayala, and my dad was buying and we're jamming, you know, and so, and I just, my whole childhood, my dad would be drinking or whatever, and man, he'd go home at night, and we were all asleep, and he'd wake me up, hey, mijo, come with me to the car. You know, I don't know if anybody experienced those kind of things, but I experienced that where my dad would call me and he'd sit with me and he talked to me like an adult, you know, mijo. He'd talk about my uncles, my mom's brothers, and because they were always real close, and so he would talk about them and, you know, the good times. And so those are the childhood memories that you just don't erase. You know? They stay with you forever. So when we were at home, we used to have one of those TVs that had a console that had the recording, right? I don't know if y'all remember that, but we used to have those TVs kind of, revealing my age a little, but those TVs that had a little microphone. So me and my dad would get his guitar out and we record stuff on the TV. Y yo pues siempre me pegaba ahí como él como chicle, no? I always wanted to be. So I would get there and sing with him. And I know we got a cassette somewhere where I'm singing and I'm 8, 9 years old. And so that's how we got started. And then as time, you know, we would go back to where we're living in Rankin, Texas. Mm-hmm. Back then, Ernie wasn't really interested in music yet. You know, he's kind of interested in football and different things. Mm-hmm. And I was always kind of the one that was into the music, even very young. And so when we started out, my dad wanted to start a band. So he got two of his brothers, my Uncle Baby and my Uncle James. And I started to learn the bass, right? Because I was left-handed at that. So my dad's like, well, let me see. We're going to have to change the strings on the bass.
Flip them upside down.
Then it was guitar. I was using a guitar for the bass. You know, we couldn't afford a bass. So my dad wanted to change the strings, but I was already learning it kind of, you know, I just flipped it around and that's how I would play it. So I started on the bass first. My dad was on the accordion, and I was always kind of lead vocal with him. So that's kind of the way we got started back then on the farm. I remember we were in a barn, and that's how we started. A few speakers, and then
So it's almost like a movie, bro. Like the way you talk about it. No, I'm sitting here just like listening to your story. Like I'm picturing everything like a farm in the middle of nowhere. Barn doors open, some dudes sitting on some bales of hay.
Yeah.
And like strumming along, like, hey, let me see what you got. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get something going. You start, then he starts, and next thing you know, you guys are sounding pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we started, like me, I started playing the bass little by little and picked it up, and I would listen a lot to Ramon, because, I mean, one of the greatest bass players, I think, is Barragas, who used to play, ya que en paz descanse, he's no longer alive, but he was the bass player for Ramon in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Great. I mean, that guy was great. And, really set the style, I think, also with Ramon, that style. So I would, listen to him and kind of pick up things. And that's how we got started. We would go start playing little bars in Rankin, here and there. And that's where I would start to sing country songs, right? Mm-hmm. I would start to sing songs from Ricky Skaggs or John Anderson. He has that, what is it called? I can't remember the song, but he had that swinging song. I was swinging. And so all these songs, right, I would pick up. But I would do that driving tractor. So some guys would go in there, some white guys would go in there. Hey, you guys know any country? And so my dad would say, well, my son does. And so I would sing some country, And so I just want people to know that me doing country now is not a gimmick because, well, he's just trying country because...
Se vista como cowboy, so he's going to sing. No, you're absolutely right. Like,
yeah, it's from the roots,
You know what, Mike? But here's the other thing, right? I think a lot of people, and I'm going to use the name that you've been using with Ramon Ayala. Like Ramon Ayala, right? You hear the name, but a lot of people don't know that that's not him behind the voice, right? Cornelio
Right.
Reina and all the Eliseo Robles and Mario Marichalar, right? Like all these guys with that voice, and a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you the opposite.
I didn't know that. So
You didn't know?
I didn't know that.
You were in your mid-20s or what?
Yeah, I was probably even 17, 18 when I found out too. Like,
shit, I think I was 20-something
Really?
with somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, Ramon's voice is kind of...
he's a backup vocal,
Yeah.
but his accordion playing is,
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
untouched for
It's
sure.
just- yeah.
But where I'm going in with is that to the Mexicanos who love Michael Salgado, I don't think a lot of them know that when you guys go and play in certain areas, I hear when you guys are talking, it's all Spanish.
right.
You play to where you're at, right? If you're here in San Antonio, you're gonna throw some English in there
Right.
and Spanish, right? Because
Right.
that's San Antonio. But you guys, when you're what I'm trying to get to is like, I don't think that a lot of Spanish people really understand that you speak very country English.
Right.
Like when you speak in English, right? He has a
Yeah,
country.
the
He has
twang
a
comes out.
country twang to it.
Yeah.
For us, I hear it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I used to go places and people are like, "Hey, bro, you're from Texas or you're Hispanic." Like, of course, Gomez gives it away, but
Right.
being in the military, I'm like, I don't think I have an accent.
No.
And when because you're around it all the time,
Right.
But to other people that have never
Oh,
been
you have an
around,
accent.
they can like, oh
Really?
yeah,
They pick it up.
you don't sound like from New York or Like you hear somebody from Boston, New
Right,
York, you can
right.
kind of tell.
You can tell.
But where I'm going is that I think a lot of Mexicanos, a lot of fans of Michael Salgado don't know that when he speaks English, he speaks a country twang English. It's not like a normal everyday English. So yeah,
It took me a little while, to kind of lose the howdy thing, because we used to do that a lot back in the day in los ranchos, and so it took a while. Even when I came I moved to San Antonio probably 27 years ago, and so when I moved here, it took me.
Andres is like, whoa, wait a minute. How old am I here?
I know, right?
I wasn't even one. Well, I don't even think I was even born yet. I doubt it.
Yeah, no, he wasn't born yet, and so the thing is, when I moved down here, it took me about a year to get used to it because it was just too big for me, right? I grew up in towns that had maybe 3,000 people. And
Tops.
That's
Tops.
it, right? And that's because we went into town, right? Because where we lived was at Puro Rancho, no? So, and for me, it was just, if you live in ranchos, you guys out there that are watching, if you live in ranchos, you know what I'm talking about when, it's living, it takes, if you're not used to being rancho, you're like, well, I mean, I can't be out here, but if you're from rancho, you're used to it, and for me, it was, I always take those great memories with me, right? Because when I was young, like, it was living for me, El Ranchos, doing what we did. And it was tough, man, because my dad he was the type of person that always had us working, right? I mean, if we weren't working the field and we were out selling, because the owner of the farm would give him like a certain acre there to put, to plant whatever he wants, right? So he would put vegetable, watermelons, cantaloupes, black-eyed peas, squash. So when all that was ripe and ready, we had to go pick it all, and then we'd go sell it door to door. So in town, man, like all day long, like when
Aquí estoy con las sandías.
Yeah. And we would do that. We'd knock and we'd be like, you want to buy any watermelon, cantaloupe, black-eyed peas? And the thing is, we didn't know. I mean, we were just kids. But, you're bringing fresh items back then from the farm.
So you were doing ship to store to home before HEB. You were doing
because it was you're talking organic. It's coming from the field, so people would buy buckets of black-eyed peas, because you're talking about it's fresh. I mean, so everything. So we'd probably take a truck full of things, vegetables and fruit, and by the end of the day, I mean, it was all gone, right? So, but my dad always had us. He always taught us to work, and always, we were never, he didn't believe in, you can go ahead and sit down and watch TV. I mean, no, you come out here. I think the last things we were doing, we were probably doing lawnmower repair, right? Mm-hmm. My dad would do a lot of lawnmower repair in town. So when we got home from school, do your work, come out here and help me fix lawnmowers, right? So we were good at doing that, man. We break them down to the core and then build them up. And so that was
this is your Michael Salgado. This is a guy that you pay money to see up there entertaining you. So I mean, right here you get the dude's real. Like, he's being as real can be right here.
Yeah, we did all those things. We when I was younger, I also worked construction. So saludos a toda la raza that works construction, because I used to work, as a sheetrock laborer, and then I went from a sheetrock laborer to a plumber's apprentice. I was almost going to go get my license before Cruz de Madera hit, right? I was working and doing that, and then, we went to record Cruz de Madera, and that year was a tough year. It's almost like, como dicen, Dios no te ahorca, right?
Yeah.
But, he'll tighten, the leash on you, but he's not going to, choke you out. So we went through, a tough year. You're talking about, I had an older van, and that year, I mean, we were going to do a gig in Dallas, and something went out on it was either fuel filter or something, right? So we were getting in the Fort Worth area, and the fuel filter went out in that van that I had, and so we were down there, under there, trying to, see what was going on, and finally we took that apart. Then we had to go find a walk and find an auto parts or something, right? So we finally got that fixed. You're talking, we have equipment, everything we're going to set up at this gig. So we show up at night. We show up like it was dark, and I guess he got some fuel in the plugs, right? And the spark plugs. So the van was like, So we're driving like this, barely it's running. We get to the place, little late, and then we still show up and set up the equipment there, right? After all that, all day, we're tired. We set up the equipment, we did the gig, and a friend of mine, also que en paz descanse, Carlos Canales, he hired us for that gig, and he would always remember when we made it, he was like crying. He'd be like, man, I remember when y'all first came and did this gig, and y'all were like, your vans tore up. Well, anyways, my dad came. He had come from Eastland, Texas. He lived out there, came to help us out and helped us change out the plugs. And then when we drove back home, all tired and just an exhausting weekend, well, we're coming back from leaving our cousin in Midland. Then we're getting to Stanton, and the damn motor just
blew out.
All
the work you did for nothing.
And then we had to walk into town, right? So that was the year right before, a little bit before Cruz de Madera. We had recorded it, kind of see what was going to happen. So I was like, man, if something doesn't happen here, then I'm just gonna go a different route, right?
Yeah.
So I guess God said, I think you struggle enough, so
Cruz Madera came.
yeah, because they might have came and then they told me, well, I think you got a hit here. You're not gonna have to work anymore. I was like, well, one less thing to worry about then. but yeah, I mean, we were always very young, we always were doing things, but going back to the country, well, it was just, it was part of how I grew up, and country was always something I wanted to do because I always did in the bars and things like that. But every time I presented the idea to a label, they just weren't interested, right? They were like, well, we want to keep doing with the accordion, what you're doing.
Right.
So this was probably 2011, 2012. And then I was talking to my good friend, Rick Orozco, right? He's kind of the first guy that produced for me Honky Tonks Cantinas, right? Because I said, I want to do country, man, but I want to do it right. I want it done, fiddle, steel guitar, the whole 9
Like
yards,
the real
but
deal, like that.
right.
Everything.
I want it done right in Nashville, and he said, okay, yeah, I got the connections. And so he said, I'll send you some songs. Let me know what you think. So I went through some songs and I saw Honky Tonks and I was like, Honky Tonks. So I said, I like that song, man. And he wrote it, another writer. And I said, let's do that one. So I still remember he went out there and did it, send me the copy of the track. And when I heard the copy of the track, I was just amazed how great it sounded and how fast they did it, right? It was just...
They don't play around.
Yeah, man, those guys over there, they're just... I mean, you're talking about... There's musicians that play for a lot of the headliners out there. I used a couple of musicians on my tracks that played with all these big bands, right? Mm-hmm. Country acts. But they're guys that do studio work. So they came in, did it. So Honky Tonks was kind of the first, and I always say, thank you to my friend Rick Orozco. We're still looking at some material, but he's kind of first one got
and
me
he wrote
started.
that song.
He wrote Honky Tonks, another writer, and I was nervous because I was doing accordion, and I said, pues la raza, a ver how they respond to country, right? I'm doing all this Cruz de Madera and all this stuff that I've done for so many years.
You went literally from left field to right field quick.
Yeah, so when the song, we got ready to put it out, and it's crazy because all the response was positive, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, wow, this song's great, and we didn't even know. And still today, there's people that go on YouTube because I see them.
The views, comments.
I see the comments, like it goes to my email, and they'll be like, and they'll say like, oh man, I didn't even know this guy did country, and I've been hearing his Spanish all this time. And so, there's still people discovering that I do country, right? And so, but it was great so I saw that, people responded well to Honky Tonks. So then I continued on, and so that's kind of what I'm doing now. And I mean, my goal is to kind of, make it into the country market as well, hopefully so. We'll see. I mean, what happens, primero Dios, y Dios pone, y Dios dispone, no? So we'll see what is entail in the future on that. But I'm going to keep, like Rocky says, right? You got to keep punching, man.
That's it.
And seeing what happens. But also, doing some stuff with my son, Andres.
He's like, I'm
Take
here.
the floor, fuck. I ain't even worried about it.
So,
I might just fall asleep back there.
give him a chance to talk.
No.
No, hey, Andres, I've seen you a few times. Matter of fact, I think one of the first times I saw you was at the one where it closed. The one that closed down.
Man, that rodeo or what?
No, the one that closed down there off of Fredericksburg and Fort
Grams.
Grams.
Yeah,
you had come up. You did you had like one song that was hitting.
I think it was Porque Me Amas at the time. I think I was like 17.
You were 17. You came out dressed to kill. El vato came out dressed to kill. I was like, hey, who's this? Yeah. They're like, that's his son. I'm like,
yeah, I wore leather that day. I shouldn't have worn it, man. It was hot. It was hot that day. Well, now I'm adjusting.
That's all he remembers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm adjusting to like as far as the outfits, because I don't usually pick my outfits. My brother picks my outfits all the time. Like,
really?
He's the one that picks them. He'll be like, hey, I think this is cool. You should wear it. You don't really have a choice. I'm the one that's gonna decide, and you're gonna wear it.
Well, I tell you what he does good about that is that it separates you from your dad,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Of course.
you want to do your own thing. You got your own thing going. It's like, okay, well, this guy, el vato's, more like he look like the way Feedman looks right now, right? Look at Feedman. Those guys are
different color hair and everything.
Yeah, man, they're dressed to kill. But no, dude, when I seen you, I said that's awesome, man. And before we went live, I was telling Mike, I was like, man, what I really want to ask you, he's like, well, what are we going to talk about? I said, it's like last time. So if you guys didn't know, this is Mike's second time on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. He was actually my guest of honor for my 1 year anniversary when I started after COVID. He came in 2021, and here he is. It's a little bit more than a year later, but he promised me that he'd come back, and sure enough, he kept his promise. He's here, man.
I mean, for your second time, I would have figured. I mean, you would have known it was a laid back, dude. I figured you'd wear something more laid back.
No,
dude.
the last time we got real laid back.
Yeah,
You got to go back and watch it. Yeah, Mike brought over his own. I had whiskey for him. He's like, "No, don't worry about it. I brought my own stuff."
I had a driver then.
Yeah, he did. He did have a driver.
Don't have a driver now.
And so we jammed out. We had great drinks, and he left me the bottle. I still have the bottle. It's in my liquor cabinet. But it's really
It's aged pretty good then.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But Andres, do you remember, dude, how old you were when you were like, I mean, I'm sure when you grow up in the music business, like you're on the bus, you're getting drugged to gigs every now and then. Like, when did you say, man, this may be something that I want to do?
I'll be honest with you. I was in, at the time my dad called it his office, but it wasn't his office. It was more like my brother's office because he was there every day. So
It was my office.
It was his office. I was just hanging out at the time. That era was the time that Justin Bieber had just came out, right?
Right.
And every guy probably wanted to be like him, including myself, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to have the hair that came back, and you know what I mean. I had it, dude. I had it all. Right there, my hair was pretty long. I had my hair back, and I told my dad, I was like, I was singing that song "Mistletoe" by him. I don't know if y'all know it or not. But
the Christmas song.
Yeah, the Christmas song.
Yeah.
I was seeing it. I showed my dad. I told him, hey, look, do you think I could if anybody's gonna tell me that I'm not a singer, I'd rather it be you than go somewhere and then it not be, you know what I mean?
Right,
It'd be
right.
somebody that, is just gonna hurt my feelings. So I told him, hey, I'm gonna sing you this song. Let me know if I can sing. And he says, you did pretty good. You could use a little bit of work. As time went on, I started to really put my mind to it, every day. Even if I was in the shower, I was singing, you know what I mean? And I had a lot of time to be at the house and sing because I wasn't not necessarily alone because I wanted to. It's just my dad was always gone. I was sometimes not on the road all the time. I'd sometimes go see my mom and stuff.
Yeah.
So the time that I was alone at the house, I would always, do my best to try to sing, little stuff. Even I didn't start singing Spanish right away. I was singing like Usher. I was singing, Jamie Foxx, stuff like that. I was real into the pop world at the time, but as I started to see, my dad, I idolized him. I saw who he was, what he stood for as a singer, how he, made people happy through his music. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do. And, I started singing and I was about probably 16 going into 17. And right when I was 17, we had just did the song Porque Me Amas. It had just came out, that's when I guess you had seen me at Grams. My dad goes, hey, look, we're going to do a song. He hit me with a bomb. He's like, hey, we're going, to Sábado Gigante. And we did. We went. I was on Sábado Gigante with him, and it was.
Mike said, hey, Scooter, you going to do this? You going to do this shit big.
And for me, it was hard because, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, a lot of people out there probably think that I speak Spanish and just because I sing it, but I don't. I don't speak no Spanish. None. Like, maybe enough to, like, para que le pasan, like, that's it. Like, to pass by and not, hey, bye, hi, and bye,
You can't even order a taco here in San Jose?
Nah, I can't. Well, no, I can, but, I had to look at a guy order it on YouTube in order for me to learn that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I use that little line, pues, ¿quieres que le pongan arroz, frijoles? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, I don't even know any Spanish, but I love Mexican music. I love Tejano music. I like... you know, like me, I'm real big into like the trap tumbados.
Yeah,
like the corridos, you know what I mean? Like
Tumbado, corrido tumbados.
Yeah, I love those songs, man. I like them because, you know, just the way the vibe is when you put them on the car, you know, the slap bass is just a different sound.
Well, this is what I say. Like, I'm be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the music. Like it's not something I'm gonna go listen to. But I respect the music, and the reason that I respect the music, if you watch my channel, Keeping Up with Bumper, I talk about this to some guys, and the reason I respect the music is because kids your age, mainly in California, northern Mexico, right? They listen to corridos, right?
Yeah.
And they took their parents' corridos and what they and the way they live now, they combined the two and they made their own stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And it literally, they made it. Like it just a few people, and then it just grew and grew, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And for that, you have to respect the game. You have to respect that they're holding their own. They're getting, you know, record labels are recording these guys, and they're being played over radios, and they're filling up stadiums. So that you have to respect, right? And I get, you know, with time it changes, and you know, we kind of got away from. Do you remember when you told your dad that you wanted to be a singer? Do you remember what he told you?
Discipline. That's what he told me. This takes discipline. If you want to be in this business, it takes discipline. It's not just something you can just
go pick up a microphone.
Yeah, go
and
pick up a
singing.
microphone. Let's go sing. No, there's more behind just picking up a microphone. You know what I mean? Like, I see him the way he's, you know, always busy. He's always on a phone call. He's always doing this interview. He's always doing that. He's always making sure he's, you know, looking good. He's always, you know,
working out.
You know, working out. You know what I mean? Like, you know, having a good representation of yourself. You know, being able to have a good appearance and being able to present yourself right as an artist, not only respectfully but as creativity wise, as an artist. That's a big thing because it's like. For example, like I look up to a lot of artists, right, that are out there, you know, like another one is like, you know, he's off the radar right now, but he's been out there is Hunter Hayes. For example, Hunter Hayes, he's a self-made artist because he can play almost every single instrument. He not only can he sing, but he can play all these instruments. That's an artist, you know what I mean? My dad can play accordion, he can play bass, he can play bajo sexto. Maybe probably somewhere around there, you know, he can play drums maybe, you know what I mean? But probably not, but you know what I mean? He's an artist. You know
I tried
what I mean?
it, but it just wasn't mine.
Mike, did you grow up speaking Spanish?
No, and actually it's crazy because with my grandparents,
Michael Salgado didn't speak Spanish growing up.
But remember, I live on a farm,
white,
and kind of my parents. My parents, pues they both kind of talk. My dad,
was a bolillo.
Él habla español, but he would talk to us like our parents at home. They would talk to us in English. But when we would go to my grandparents' house, que en paz descanse mi abuelo Andrés, no, he would we'd go up there and say hi to him, and he was like, ¿Qué hiciste o qué? And I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying, grandpa. And he'd be like, no, háblame en español, que necesitas aprender español, que this and that. They would always tell us that, right? And we would just laugh, but he would always tell us that when we'd go visit, right? Mm-hmm. But this business, we had to learn. Like I tell my son, like he says, I can't speak it. I said, well, if you want it bad enough, you can speak it. Yeah. Because I didn't speak it and I had to learn it, you know?
Yeah.
And now, pues yo te voy, hablamos en un baile, pues, y la gente ni sabe que hablo en inglés, you know? They don't know. They don't know that.
How many years did it take you? Or Mike, when did you, let me, I'm messing up here. Cruz de Madera, right?
Right.
When Cruz de Madera came out, were you fluent in Spanish?
Somewhat. Not too much yet, right? But
nowhere like you are now.
Right, nowhere like I am now. Because now, you know, we'll do a gig and then afterwards you'll say hi to them and the people, you know, the fans, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know you spoke English. And I'm like, well, yeah. But,
so let me tell you the story. So I got a buddy. His name is Mario Reyes. He's a recruiter. Mm-hmm. He's a recruiter he was a recruiter in Eagle Pass area for many years. It's been maybe 10, 15 years. And he always tells this story. He goes, bro, I wanted to always see Michael Salgado. And finally, my wife worked at the bank there in not Eagle Pass, whatever town's close to there. Uh-huh. And they got him tickets, VIP tickets, he let you know, right? So he was excited. He got hammered. And he said, but afterwards, we're going to be able, part of the thing was we could take a picture and get a meet and greet with Michael Salgado. He goes, bro, but I didn't speak Spanish. So I was there like, Michael, gracias. And he goes, bro, when I saw him in your show speaking English, I felt like an idiot.
Yeah, and I'll be able, I can tell, like, when people, they're trying to talk Spanish, and I'll tell them,
I speak it.
yeah, you know, or I'll start talking in English, and they'll go, oh, okay, you speak English. I said, yeah. But it's just, for me, it's like a switch, right? Like, when I'm at a gig, then it's Spanish, right? That's what comes out. It's just,
Right.
It's kind of like what's programmed for me. And every now and then I'll throw in some English in there, just so kind of people, you know, will know, oh, I guess he does speak English. But there's some gigs that we just talk Spanish, and it's mainly the younger fans that'll be like, oh, we didn't know he speak English. Right?
English.
And but I had to learn, you know, because if I want to be in this business, like I tell him, you know, you want to do Spanish music, and you want to do corridos, and you want to do,
You got
but
it.
you're gonna cater to la raza,
Yeah.
so la raza, they don't understand English, so you're gonna have to speak to them in Spanish.
No, they know it enough. Trust
Their
me, man.
language, you know.
You'd be surprised.
But you know, you're gonna have that criticism, and
For sure.
even me, I mean, like you say, I speak Spanish, and we still get criticism that, you know, you're from Texas, you're right, it's Tejano, and so it just, so it's always been, for me, like, we catered to both markets, right? But it's always been, I think now it's opened up a little, but in the beginning, it was like, well, you're Tejano, you're not raza, right? So
Right.
it's like, so it just, I never knew there would be that division in the markets, right? And it just being Hispanic, it just, you know, but it does exist.
All I ever remember growing up was claro que sí, seguro que sí, claro que sí. Selección va para toda la gente. Like every quinceanera, every wedding.
Seguro
was
que
that.
sí.
Yeah, seguro que sí, claro que sí, seguro que sí.
Sí.
Y claro que sí.
And you know what's weird? It's really weird that you say that, Pop, because when we played at Texas Live, right? Which is in the middle what's in Arlington, but it's in the middle between Dallas and Fort Worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, in Dallas and Fort Worth, there's a lot of raza, like Mexicanos
Yeah.
there that are from all over the place, right? It's just weird that they would even label my father as just, I know he came out in Tejano and I get it, but it's just weird that they would even say that, because like my dad, that night that we played, I mean, he probably had there like what, Pop, like 2,000-3,000 people there.
Yeah. And the thing is that, especially Dallas Fort Worth, like, it's crazy porque allá va raza tejana, pero va mucha raza mexicana, you know?
Yeah.
Raza de San Luis, de
Monterrey.
de Tamaulipas, de Guanajuato, we have a lot of fans in Dallas que es raza, ¿no? Entonces, so ahí there's no barrier there, right? Ahí llega raza como llegan los tejanos, and that's what I like when we do a dance gig, it's mixed like that, right? And it's hard to mix too, right? Because there's just division there. I don't know why, but you know, sometimes there's the Tejano don't want to be where the Mexicano is,
And that's crazy, Mike. That's really crazy, dude. But you know what, dude? El Mexicano sí paga.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Eso sí.
They'll pay whatever the price is to get in, for sure. Like I always say,
That is true.
I seen them at Cowboys. I went to go see Duelo and La Leyenda and somebody else. They were lined up around the corner, dude, of Cowboys. And you know how much it was for each person to get in? It was $100. One Benjamin Franklin
Yeah.
to get in. And people were lined up waiting to get in.
Yeah,
You know
of
what I
course.
mean? And it's
I heard about
crazy.
that show.
You know, it's nuts, man. But you know, I'm glad that you're one of those persons that you can blend both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But both you play to both sides. You know
Yeah,
what
lo
I'm saying?
bonito que, you know, nosotros le tocamos a la raza y los tejanos, I mean, porque eso es lo que pasa when we play in los dos eventos, those type of events, right? Si tocamos eventos mexicanos o es un evento tejano, pues de todo modo llega la raza, ¿no? Because la raza le gusta la música también, ¿no? Entonces, so that's a good thing, because I think we're kind of like, you know, Ramon plays to Mexicano and Tejano too. I think Intocable plays to Tejano, Mexicano too. So, you know, it's great to be able to have both markets, you know. And so, como digo, nowadays it's just kind of opened up a little more as opposed to before, you know, doing it now, what we've been doing it now about 27 years.
Mike, but you know what this is what's changed, and especially with you because of the artist you are. You know, me and my wife, we go to these. They're not tarriadas, but they are, right, in a sense. Like they start at 4:30, and they're over by like 10 o'clock.
Right.
Pepsi Peña always puts them on over here at the Shriner Auditorium.
Okay.
Right, he brings in like Tejano groups, La 45 and stuff like that, and they love that old style music.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man, because it's a baile the way I remembered. You come in, the people bring in their own bottles, you buy the setups. People bring in churches, chicken, sandwiches, chips. The table's full, dude, and people are conversating. They get up, they dance, they come down, they're with their friends, right? Nowadays, for me, the violent part of going out is gone. You, Michael Salgado, it's a concert, dude. Like, it's going to be a dance hall. Like, don't get me wrong. It's going to be a dance hall, but there's going to be so many people up by that stage that there's no longer anywhere to really dance. You know what I mean? Maybe in the back a little bit. But to me, that's how times have changed a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, what's your take on that? Do you see that like that when you when you first started to what you're doing now?
Definitely. I mean, and to be honest with you, I mean, I kind of like the concert vibe where people come up, you know. But we'll still go to towns where ya vas a más rancho, pueblos de rancho, no? And
Beeville, Texas?
Yeah, or smaller towns that they don't come up, right? They just sit or they dance. And so it's a different vibe for me, right? I'm used to, I like the crowd in front, you know, and interacting with us. And, but, you know, we're good with also doing a show where they just come out and dance. And it's just a different type of people, ¿me entiendes?
Right.
When you go, you can kind of tell, you know, where they do that. We can go like to, por decir, Robstown también, and they do that. They don't really come up. They just dance or they watch from where they sit. Mm-hmm. So it's just a different type of a crowd, you know. So it just, you know, everywhere you go is a different vibe, you know. So it just depends.
Hey, Mike, and I like to ask artists, man. I mean, you being the stature that you are in Tejano Norteño music, like, does it make you, are you the same nervous playing in front of 50 people than you are playing in front of 5,000 people?
Yeah, I believe so. I think being nervous is just, you know, makes you human and
natural.
And, you know, it's just something that just keeps you grounded, you know.
So you still get nervous before every show?
Yeah, I mean, there's times when I'm just like, you know, you just get, I think it's more the rush, you know. The adrenaline before a show.
You don't get nervous. Why is
you know?
Well, I seen him on the bus. Like, so let me paint these people a picture, man. So the other day, I got to hang out on the bus right before he went on Town Exposure. He was talking about he did mariachi, he did country, he did, you know, all his original stuff. But on the bus, and he comes out from the back and he has a scarf on. And Edward, I'm sitting there with Edward. Edward's like, well, so are you wearing a scarf with the thing in the front or to the side? And you guys were talking about what was his name? The old dude. The dude,
I told him not
is
to
it
wear that
Rogers?
scarf,
No, it's
man.
not Rogers.
Roy
Rogers. So you were like, well, how did Roy Rogers wear it? And so Edward looked it up on Google, and sure enough, he used to wear the lao, right? The
scarf, the lao.
So Mike was like, well, screw it. I'm gonna wear it over here to the lao. And I just thought that was cool. I mean, you know, it's I always tell people, that got to interact with artists and hang out backstage sometimes or on the bus. Like, I have this picture of like a rock and roll movie where there's going to be alcohol, women, and it's just everybody thinks crazy, and these dudes are just getting ready to go up on stage, and 99% of the time it's not. It's just like these dudes are just like, they're chill. They're like, just, okay, bro, let us know when it's time, and they're drinking water or a drink, and they're just talking, joking. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're, to me...
maybe in the rock and roll... market is like that, but, you know.
Hey, no, there's some Tejano bands. I'm not gonna throw them out there. I've been, and I'm like, okay, this shit is for real back home. But I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, I've heard some stories.
In the Mike Salgado camp, it's very chill. It's very just like, you know. And to me, I took it in as like, maybe that's just the way you guys, like, you're just being yourselves. You know what I mean?
They are a lot older though too now.
Wow.
Oilo, because
Vieja la tierra.
No, I'm just playing.
Decía mi abuelo, vieja la tierra. ¿Verdad? But no, I mean, you know, for me, for the most part, I mean, I'm kind of like that. I'm chill, and you know, before the show, I mean, what I do is a lot of times, man, I'll watch some movies or I'll watch Rocky or something to hype me up, right? Or
that's the second time you said Rocky.
I watch Rocky. I watch Gladiator.
Have you seen the new movie Warriors?
Warriors.
If you haven't seen, you got to see it. I watched it last night, Mike. What a great movie.
Really?
It's like a B-rated. I don't know if it was on Netflix or Amazon, but I had surgery yesterday, so I was knocked out most of the day. So I was awake all night and I couldn't sleep.
Right.
So I watched this movie, and it's about two UFC fighters. They're brothers, but they grow up in different.
Oh, he's talking about the one with Tom Hardy, there.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
You seen it?
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that. That's a great movie.
Hey, it's old. It might have been old, but I just barely saw it last night.
Yeah, it was like
Hey,
about
dude,
17
yeah,
years ago.
But it had me like, I was like, hey, man, I got to write my son. Hey, bro, I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
At the end, right? That sad song.
Yeah, dude, it's just the whole thing. So
It
you're
is-
talking about
it
fighting
is-
movies.
yeah, it is
it
a
clicked in
good-
my head, bro.
Yeah,
It is
man.
a
What
good-
was the name of the movie?
Warrior.
It's Warrior.
Warrior. There you
Yeah.
go.
So if you guys haven't seen that movie, you need to check out Warrior. It's a great movie.
Hey, when the
Yeah.
dad is crying in the hotel room,
Dude,
that
that-
reminds me of my grandpa because he's the same way with my dad. He'll bust out crying. The thing is my grandpa's real like he seemed like he's like a strong man, but when it comes to his family, he's real like sentimental about it. Like he'll be with my dad, like they'll be drinking and stuff together, and then they'll just start crying out of nowhere together. And I'm like,
But you know what, Mike? That's the going into Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. We talk about the culture part.
Yeah.
That's who we're machismo, dude. Like, and you never know. Like once your music starts, and how does I always wanted to ask somebody, how does that make you feel, man? That you're part of you have music out there that is gonna live forever and ever. That's up there with this great man over here, right? When you hear it, it brings lágrimas. It brings just sentiment, like everything at one time. How does that make you feel? Not as Michael Salgado, but as a man, that you created something that's gonna be in our culture forever, bro.
Well, it's just amazing when I sit and think about it, right? Because like you say, it's going to stay forever. Your memory's always going to stay here when you're long gone. And, for me, I guess I'm just proud to have been able to have done something like that, where I always remember that, where in that movie Troy, where he says, when he tells the boy, well, that's why your name will never be remembered, right? Because you didn't do. So that always reminds me of those things. But it feels great, but it's crazy because I have people that'll send me on social media, Snapchat, different stuff where they're partying with my music, right? And it's just great, and I'll send them a thumbs up and whatever.
And you make their year,
and
bro.
they're like,
Michael
"Man."
Salgado retweeted my shit, bro, today.
Yeah. Because for me, when we're hanging out, like I like to hear Ramon, right?
Yeah.
Like because that's how we grew up, right? So you hear a song and it takes you back. It's crazy how a song would take you back to a moment, time, year, second. It would do that,
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard songs like that that'll take me back to, when I was 15 years old and something happened at that time. And it's crazy. A song will do that. It will take you to a moment in your life when you were, whatever time that is or whatever it happened, you hear a certain song and it would do that. And so that's what's great about music. It just can always take you to a happy or sad moment or a moment that you'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And so for me, that's kind of crazy. Like when I have those people that send me stuff and I check it out and I'm just like, it's cool, they're partying.
That's me, bro.
And then I'll send them a thumbs up or saludos or échale ganas or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're all excited about it and stuff. But for me, that's the way it is. Like when we get together, hang out, and we play Ramon,
Mm-hmm.
Se fue, all that stuff, because that was, the stuff we grew up with. And so I can kind of understand like those people.
You can relate to them,
I can
man,
relate
in
to
their
those
sense.
people, man, and that.
Dude, I tell you, honky tonks and cantinas was my ringtone for probably about 2 years.
Wow.
And everywhere I was in the military, I would play it, and people would be like, "What the hell is that?" I was like, "Hey, don't knock it, bro. This is my jam." It's because I love. It's who I was. You know what I mean? Honky tonks and I fit at home at either. Like you can put me either one. I'm happy and I'm good. So. No, man, I just always wanted to ask somebody of your stature, right? That, like, how does it's just got to be an amazing feeling, man. And not every artist, there's great artists out there, and they know they don't have a song that's going to be, You know, Cruz de Madera, like that song, it's just, you know, it goes with Chente's song, Volver Rey. Like those songs, Las Nubes, like those songs are going to live forever, man. Yeah. Forever. And just knowing that you did that, it's just got to be an amazing feeling, man, for on the real. Like I don't know. I wish I could sing. I can't sing. So I'm doing the next best thing. I'm just talking. But no, Mike, that's happy, man. That's awesome, bro. I'm really glad that you've taken on the role with mariachi, with country, Tejano, Norteño, whatever you want to label yourself, right? I mean, it's just a label. Music is music. At the end of the day, it's whatever you want to call it. But for me, you're a big face of who we are as Tejanos, right? Because we those are all three parts of who we are.
Right. Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? We go somewhere, we're gonna hear a mariachi, and we know the songs.
Right.
You're gonna hear George Strait, old school George Strait song. We know the song.
Yeah.
We hear Ramon Ayala song. We know the song.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like even if like we're going through something, like say we're having a breakup with a girl, or say we're having something happened in that time, your mom died or your dad died. They could have been listening to that song, and then you'll remember that memory of what you went through. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean?
Song. Your struggle.
Yeah.
Whatever your struggle has, and you know Mike's his repertoire songs, like there's a song for everything. There literally is a song for everything, and you're by far no short of songs for sure, man. For sure. Andres, where do you see yourself in a year?
In a year?
Yeah.
Alive for sure.
He said alive. What do you do now, bro? When you
I'll be honest with y'all. You know, there's only certain people know this, but I'm a barber. I cut hair. I've been doing.
Well, I knew it, but I just wanted to ask.
I learned, pre-COVID. I was like, he had just told me, he's like, you know what? Yeah, I just can't, he just told me, he's like, hey, we're going to be off the road for like a year. I was like, oh my God. Like, what am I going to do for a whole year, right?
Yeah.
But then, I used to watch barber videos online. Like, I would just watch them, like, because it was just satisfying, watching the transition, you know what I mean? Going from a dirty haircut to like, boom, looking nice, right? And, one day I said, you know what? I'm going to invest my time. I got nothing but time now. I'm going to relax. Let me invest like a couple months. So like took me about almost 8-9 months till I got in my first shop. And I was still bad then. I was bad. Trust me, I tell you, I sucked bad. And, I messed up a couple haircuts, here and there. And, I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep putting my time. So then I got my break where I was like in a shop where it was constant walk-ins. Like every day, I was doing like 30 to 40 walk-ins a day. It was good, and gracias a Dios, he blessed me to, give me financial support for that time.
Right.
That I was able to be okay along that time,
Yeah.
And, I started to do barbering, I was doing, minor stuff for my career, doing photo shoots with my brother. My brother's always been like real caring when it comes to me, when it comes to my father, like about our image, about, keeping that charisma. And
he's the guy behind the curtains, bro.
Yeah, he is.
For sure, man. Mike Jr., that dude, he has his fingers in his hands, and you name it, he's either done it, or he knows somebody who could take care of you to get it done.
He's always been the guy to handle business. He's never been, a guy to play around. It's like he said, don't waste my time. I won't waste yours. Always be considerate of other people's time, because, like I said, once you burn that bridge where, as far as wanting to get stuff done with that person, eventually once they see your true colors, they're not going to want to, mess around with you anymore, because they see who you really are. So he's always been that type of person. He's always cared about my image. I'll be honest with you, I went bald about a couple times because I get tired of doing it. My dad, they liked all of this, and I'm just
So everybody that's around you, they allow you to cut their, like your as your dad's trusted you, Mike.
They don't allow me to.
Do you let him cut your hair?
Yeah, he just cut it today.
Like show him, show him your cut.
But it took a while, right? It took a while for me to trust him. But I was like, he's like, let me cut your hair. I'm like, that's all right. I mean,
You would brush it off, man, and I'd be like, come on, man, I'm not playing around with you. Like,
but
yeah.
I would tell him like, he's like, come on, I mean, I'm your son. And
I mean, the bad thing is he was already
I need a
going
good
to
haircut,
barbers
I
that
think.
were bad anyways.
But no, man,
Yeah.
I had some good people, but
man.
he got better as time, and he's gotten better. So now I just let him cut my hair now, right? But
Save you some money too,
yeah.
right?
Well, I don't know about that
It's
much.
the same deal.
It charges me more.
It's the same deal.
But yeah, I mean, so he's gotten to where he's learned it, and he does that also.
Like during the week, like
During the week,
before I do shows.
He does that too, and like I tell him, because for now we'll keep working it until you can land the right song, like I did, right? Like there's no
Just takes one.
there's no magic wand to this business. It's like because he'll tell me sometimes, because even he gets impatient and. Well, so when is it gonna happen? Well, I don't know. I don't have that special wand that I can tell you, because we did it 10 years in the bars playing every weekend, 3 or 4 days.
Before Cruz and Madera hit,
Before
Mike?
Cruz and Madera. And we were making $200 a night with a whole band, right? $200 a day. So you're talking, we're staying in bad hotels and we're and sometimes we wouldn't even stay in the hotel. Sometimes we stay in the van, right? And we would have friends that would let us use their place, take a shower, and things like that. So we're always thankful for those people that did that for us, But that was the struggle, back then, playing. We played bar after bar, so it was tough. I mean, people don't know. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. I mean, we did it for 10 years. Then, but luckily we started very young. I was 15, 16, I guess, when I started going on my own. Then my dad kind of let me take over the band. I think I was 16, 17. So I was young, but I was doing it, like I tell him, I was doing it hardcore every weekend. I had a job, but I would tell my job, and then, it has to be because of God that they would let me leave.
Hey guys, I sing, and on most Fridays I gotta get off early or I gotta go.
Right.
I won't.
That's what I would say. I would say, look, I got a band, and I want to work, but I need to leave for the weekend, right? So, can you do it? And if not, I would just look. I mean, I worked in car washes, so I can clean my truck beautifully. I know how to do it, but see, I did those kind of jobs because they would let me leave when I wanted to, right? Like they would let me leave. You got to leave early Friday. Okay, go ahead. But sometimes I had to take jobs like that. And we had a friend, we worked construction, me and Ernie at the time, we were younger, in Midland, Texas. And that guy, the foreman there, he used to be kind of in a band too. So he kind of,
He knew the vibe. Yeah, he
right.
knows.
So we would tell him, well, we got to leave. And he would say, okay, well, y'all go ahead. And I remember the van would come by the construction site and pick us up. And we'd leave from the job there. And when we'd come back, there'd be days that we'd play early in the week. And he would tell us, hey, will y'all go up to this floor and hide there and sleep there a few hours and then wake up?
Wow.
I mean, he even did that for us. So, there was a lot of blessings along the way.
So is he VIP anytime you go anywhere?
Honestly, I think he passed away.
Oh, man, yeah.
And so it's been some years. I heard he passed away, but great guys. There was another guy named Wes. Maybe he'll look me up someday, but he's the guy who taught me like all the plumbing, right? He kind of took me,
Under his wing.
And he taught me. I mean, I remember carrying core machines on a ladder from, up to a rooftop.
So I want you guys remembering that when you go to see a Michael Salgado concert, this he's been a plumber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
let him know.
They used to have me run like, what was that pipe? It was...
You talking about water lines, or what are you talking about?
No, but it wasn't like, this was commercial stuff, so it was cast iron. I ran a lot of cast iron pipe by myself. I learned the trade, right? At first when I got there, I didn't know, this 90 from this 45, but I learned it all to where, that buddy of mine, Wes, would tell me, hey, Michael, bring me this list of things, and I already knew what to bring, right? I just, and I was moving up in that area, right? I was already at a Prince plumber, and all I had to do to go be a master plumber was go get my license in Austin, right? But I was kind of still in the music, but when I was doing that, they would let us get off. So back to what I'm telling him, it takes a lot of work. It just doesn't happen. I can't tell you, well, I'm gonna do my magic wand, and
everybody's story is different, man. Like all those people you had in your path that allowed you to go up to that level and sleep, or allowed you to get off early. Like imagine if that wouldn't have happened. I mean, just people's paths are different. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just very fortunate to be like in this position. I mean, not everybody gets to go in front of a crowd of 1,000 or 2,000 people and just be able to sing. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people, believe it or not, when they're in a certain position, they take it for granted because they feel like they want more out of it. But at the moment, they're too impatient to wait till they get to the top. You know what I mean? And I always tell my dad, I'm like, sometimes I get so impatient. I'm like, man, I want to get there. I want to be on top already. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I haven't. Maybe God, in His way, hasn't seen that I haven't put enough work in to get to that point. You know what I mean? It takes levels. You don't just get up there.
Exactly. Mike, do you still sing? Do you still sing? When you're at home, what I meant was when you're at home, do you sing? Do you do you do a lot of vocal stuff, or you think you're already to the point to where hey, it is what it is,
Well, when I'm working on new songs, then when I'm at home, I'll sing like I've been singing that song "If I'm Gone" a lot at home, right? Mm-hmm. I'm singing it there. And my wife's probably like, "You need to go to the other room already." But
I'm tired of hearing the song.
Yeah. But I'll do that. Sometimes I'll do that, or I have a certain. I get in this mode of, I've got to work on new music, so I'll go into my office area and then I'll start messing with songs and so so it's nice to create, because me, for the most part, it's very rare that I'll get a song that I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like the only thing that I've discovered in music is when I work on country songs, I'll hear a song and I'll kind of do it. That melody and everything, but it's just my style. But they pretty much, the way you get the country demos now, they're kind of like already kind of ready for you, right? And so, but in the Spanish, some of the writers, they'll send me stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to really change this one up because it's really not. And it's crazy because I get a lot of stuff like banda music and things like that. And it's very rare that I'll get material that is my style, They'll send me songs así con guitarras, or they'll send me banda. Or
that ain't me, dog.
Yeah, but what I have to do is, but that's where kind of the creativity has to come into play, is if I like the song enough, I'll gut it from where it's at, and then I'll, write it all down, and then I'll do it my style. And then before you know it, I have it. I have this song that was banda, now my style, and it came out the way I needed it to come out with the band and everything. So,
Mike, do you see yourself ever singing a banda song?
Well, I have already. I did something with Diana Reyes, right? We did something together.
You had a whole album.
And so,
but it was all banda.
No, that was something I did with Diana Reyes.
Yes,
it was one song, right? But Joey Records put out something, but it was something that was put together by studio, and they just placed my vocals on it.
Over.
Yeah, because Cineas and Banda.
Yeah. I've heard them like that.
You heard it?
But have you ever just said, "Hey, let's get a writer. Let's put a banda song together"? Have you ever thought of doing something?
No, it just, to each his own, right? It's just not a style that
I got you.
That draws my attention, like there's a lot of new styles out there now, like he's saying, like Tumbao and Sereno. You got Sereno, and and my respects to them, but it's not for me, and so I just rather stick to what I can do, right? Like I do mariachi, I'll do all my accordion stuff, I'll do country. And the way I feel about that is because some people may say, well, why is he doing all that different stuff? But I just think if you can, then why not? Just do it if you can do it. Yeah. And so for me, it's like, well, I've always liked country, And when I did Otra Vez a la Cantina, pues it worked, back in the day. People liked it. And I continue doing mariachi, so it's something, because I won't do material or songs that I just don't feel that are gonna, if I'm not gonna try to at least, make them sound good or make them sound a little better, then I'm not gonna touch them. That's just the way I am. I'm not gonna go mess up a Vicente's song, right?
I hear what you're saying.
So that's just the way I am, and cada quien, no disrespect to anybody, and everybody does, what they. But me, if I'm gonna do a song, it's because I feel comfortable doing it, and it sounds. To me, it sounds.
So you're never.
Good.
So basically, you're never gonna do something that you're not gonna be 100% behind.
Yeah, definitely. Because if it's a song that I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do this song, but it just doesn't sound good.
It's like that with me too.
I won't do it. I'd rather acá entre nos, pues I did it my style, but I like the way it sounds, and I hope that people like it too. But I did it. I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna do it like Vicente, porque Vicente, pues, una voz de oro.
Yeah,
man.
he's Chente, bro.
He's
yeah.
Chente, so
for sure.
I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it my way, right? But it's still gonna have the feel, and it's gonna have the. For me, it had to have that, right? Botas de charro, the same thing. It to me, I like the way it sounds. Aquellos ojitos verdes. It's my style, but I don't think that I worsen the song, right? That I like. Well, he shouldn't even touched it, because he made it. And
there's I mean, there's some songs out there where people have remade the song. You're like, dude, por favor, why did you even do that?
And
you didn't give that song justice at all,
right? And so that's to me is like to each his own, right? No disrespect to nobody.
Exactly.
Pero for me, that's just the way I feel. Si voy a grabar una canción, pues que pueda, grabarla. And man, I even recorded back in the day, but it never came out. I don't know if you ever heard of it. This is from a pop artist. It was called Bella Senora, right? It never came out, but I don't know if you ever heard that song. It's from, trying to remember the artist. He was a very known artist también. Emmanuel, right? He's like a pop, right?
Yeah.
Brillas tanto de noche encantadora, sí. But we did it with the band, and it kind of sounded cool. It was like the accordion sounded like Italian feel, like it was, but, like we did a lot of stuff that was international with Joey, that we did it our way.
Yeah.
It worked, but there was a song there from Ana Gabriel, and there's a song from...
They even did El Cantante from Mark Anthony.
Right. Like I recorded that, but we didn't record it yet, right? But I did that one.
It's not out. Like
it's not out.
Did it, right.
We put together the idea. It's like we did one, the Gloria Estefan, right? But we did it with the band. And those are on a record, right? They're like cumbias. And they came out good. I mean, people like that record. That was, back in the 90s, those records, they did really well. But they probably don't know that that's those songs. But Joey decided to do some cover songs.
Spanish songs are crazy. I just had this conversation like two episodes ago where I was telling somebody that me and my buddy is Puerto Rican, we used to argue because I'd hear like, Vendevórame otra vez. Like, and he would, like, I would play it and he'd be like, he just give me the look like, what's wrong? He's like, that's a salsa song. I'm like, dude, shut your ass up. That's mine, bro. There ain't no salsa song. And then he would play it, and I'd be like,
wow, different.
Wow, it is a salsa song. So then, which one's older? Who originated it? Who originated? So,
right.
Real quick, man, I'm going to pay a little bit of bills. We have 3 sponsors for tonight's show. The first sponsor is my buddy Ricky Ray. Ricky Ray Realtor right here. 956-424-5724. If you're looking to buy a home, you're looking to sell your house, because I know right now a lot of people's houses are a lot worth more than what they paid for. If you're really looking to get rid of your house, hit up my boy Ricky Ray, 956-424-5724. One of the greatest vibes you'll ever see. And if you're really cool, he might even play a saxophone for you. So he plays for La 45. Great guy, man. Hit up Ricky Ray, 956-424-5724. And then a new sponsor we picked up this week, all the way from the big city, as Mike likes to say. He likes big towns, big cities, from the big city of Beeville, Texas. Shout out to my buddy Michael Willow, 361-318-7769. He's the sales manager of Blake Full and Wider. You see, I said it right. Blake Full and Wider.
That's a
Check,
twister.
dude. That is, yeah.
Blake Full and Wider.
Their brand, Mike, is just a B. because it makes it that simple, just to be not the whole full and wider. But if you're in the you're in the you're in the market to buy a new Dodge, any Jeep, a new Ram truck, hit up my boy Mike Willow. He will take care of you. The guy is great,
Dodge.
and he's also he works for the city of Beeville as well. So shout out to my buddy Mike Willow, 361-318-7769. And then my final sponsor, for the artists, all my friends that are in the chat room that are artists, if you guys need t-shirts made, I know a lot of you guys have been in the game a long time and everybody has their people they go to. These guys are A1 professional, veteran owned, female owned. Hit them up. You've seen the banner on the bottom for a lot of the show today. Crate, right? Create, not crate. It's CR8. It stands for Create Original Screen Printing, man. Hit them up if you got a family reunion, you got, I don't know, your son's graduating, you want everybody to have the same shirts. These guys would do 10 shirts or 1,000,000 shirts. Hit them up. They'll take care of you, man. They're a big sponsor of Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, and I'd like to welcome to the Wacky Wednesday family, man. So shout out to those guys. And there we go. And before I forget, if you haven't subscribed to Bumpers, Keeping Up with Bumper on YouTube, you need to subscribe. I promise you, it's just funny, dude. It's just a good time. We do a lot of the behind the scenes. Like, Mike, I already had done it when I went on the bus. I was telling Edward, I said, dude, I wanted to take my camera and just do a couple of clips, right?
Yeah, man.
But again, I'm the same guy. I'm a gentleman and I'm a professional. So, if Mike's allowing me to come into his private area of the bus, it's not cool for me just to walk on with a camera and be like, hey, bro, I'm recording for my... Nah, it's not me. You know what I'm saying? and Edward was like, nah, bro, you should have just turned the shit on.
He's very welcoming, man, to everybody.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I was like, nah, it's cool, man. For me, it was just the fact that, I got to go on the bus and just chit chat with you guys for a little bit for what was a great show, dude.
Thank you.
Literally, it was something. If you didn't get to see it, Mike, if you can pull it off, la neta, if you can pull that off, somehow, some way, the crowds will show up for that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I hope so. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, it's an idea that I want to kind of take on the road, where we can do that in some shows, because it is going to be a different type of budget, type of event. But you're talking about, I guess, maybe 2.5 hours of a show there, pretty much steady, right? It's just
right.
Mariachi and the band and the country band. I just kind of want to take a real country band on the road now. I've recorded now with, she thinks my name is Whiskey, is 10 songs already. Putting out a new one here real soon. So, we've got a few songs on there. Would like to do that on the road with an actual band so people can kind of check that out. And but we'll see what happens. I mean,
Mike, have you ever been in Mexico or like somewhere where the crowd and you're just like, hey, dude, I'm gonna lay this country song on them? Have you done that? I'm just asking. I know, like you said, you your crowds where
right.
you go, right? Where you gonna speak more English, more Spanish, whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know. Me, if I was in your shoes, I'd be like playing all these hits. No, Honky Tonks Cantina's coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is we've done some shows, Más Mexicanos, and you'll have somebody in the crowd, hey, Honky Tonk Cantina, and I'm like, not today. but it just depends. If it's hardcore baile mexicano, pues I normally don't do any country there. But unless you got a few people in the crowd that are like, hey, honky tonks, and and I'll do it. Probably last song of the night, right? But do
right.
Hey, country, and so I don't get any bottles thrown at me or nothing. But la raza, pero normally they're cool about it too. But it just depends. Yeah, I kind of feel the crowd. If it's
Mike, and are you friends with any of the Texas country music scene guys?
Well, I know, which is kind of, we got to hang out also like that in the bus with Josh Abbott, and
wow,
I got to meet man, I'm caught in a spot here. But,
Randy Rogers? No,
not yet. I haven't met Randy Rogers yet. I think that the gentleman that you had met, right?
Who that?
Was
talking about?
Was it Wade Bowen?
Oh, Wade Bowen. Yeah,
Wade Bowen, okay.
He met
with him.
Wade Bowen. We had done a show where he was
It was the Blooming Festival in Temple. We were there, and he was playing on the other side. And I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, man, I like your music. I think it's cool. Hey, let's take a picture." He was like, "Yeah, let's do it, bro." And we just took a picture with me. And he's a really cool dude, man. Him and I was almost gonna meet him, man. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to go. Parker McCullum.
Okay.
I was gonna get to meet him. One of our guys that does security for my dad, Johnny Bibbs.
Johnny Bibbs. Shout out to Johnny Bibbs. That's my
Johnny
boy
Bibbs,
right
man.
there, dog.
He
the only dude that allows me to text. He texted me at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's the only dude that can get away with it. Because I ain't gonna tell him.
He's
shit.
always awake somewhere. Yeah, man. He was like, "Hey, man, come out to the show. He's gonna be at AT&T Center." I never went. I was sad. I should have went. I could have met Parker, man.
How long you been using Johnny Bibbs, Mike?
I use him every so often when we're kind of in the area. He'll send me a message and he'll be like, "Hey man, are you gonna be out here and come on?" I said, "Yeah, come on out, man." And he was supposed to meet us, I guess, somewhere at Mavericks, one of the shows, but he didn't show up. I think.
Oh shit, Johnny, for real, dog.
No, he was there.
He
was there at Mavericks. He just didn't say hi. Oh.
I don't remember him being there, but
remember he pulled up day. You were there. He was there. Remember he went in there and he said hello, but I think my dad was busy. He had to do something.
Your dad's always busy.
I'm trying to remember, but yeah. So there's been a few country guys. I mean, I'd like to meet Billy Currington. I really like his music. He's actually going to be here at Floors, here pretty soon. I think in May, and well, of course, the legendary George Strait,
of course.
You
never met him?
One day, haven't met him. Haven't met him yet, and but we'll see down the road. Hopefully, maybe it. I mean, I always wanted to meet Vicente, and never got to meet him as well. But there's a few like I've gotten to do. I guess if I die now, I'm good. But because I've gotten to perform with Ramon and also Eliseo, Mario, but I was big fans of Eliseo and Ramon. So when I got to do, Eliseo went up and did something with us in California. So that was cool. And he did something with us in Seguin. And then with Ramon, when we've done some shows that I've been, a part of the gig, he'll call me up and I'll do a couple of songs with him. So
that's gotta be
I mean, it's just
crazy, man.
First time I did it, it was just like, and I had to pinch myself because I'm like, when I'm actually here, when I used to listen to him growing up.
Right.
And so, I've always been a fan. I guess always will be a fan of Don Ramon and he's just been great to be able to grow up with his music.
So one other question I have for you. If you were to collab with somebody in the country music scene right now, who would it be?
Who would it be? It's a good question, I guess. I'm trying to think who
and it doesn't have to be like we got to sound right together. No, like anybody. Like,
well, I mean, it wouldn't happen, but it'd be great to do something with George, But
hey,
that's like reaching for the stars. There,
no, because there is somebody. I'm not gonna tell you the name, but there is somebody who watches my show on a regular basis that's in the George Strait camp.
Really? Wow.
So if he's watching, hey. This is our legendary Michael Salgado, bro. Like, if you can make something like that happen, that would be
that's crazy.
That would be nuts.
It'd be a tremendous honor, because growing up listening to his music as well, and so it'd be probably one of those.
And speaking of country and Tejano and stuff like that, like here's lately, we've been talking about this big show. I'm gonna get to be a part of it this year in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and you've gone out there and done those shows. Right. Man, how in the hell is there that many people over there, dude?
I don't know, but I remember doing those events, and it just gets crazy out there. It's amazing.
It's like big 4 state, right? It's like this huge park or something.
Yeah, State Fair. State Fair, we played there one time. I was there.
Yeah, it was like, and they have several stages. It's not just.
And it's going all at one time.
Yeah. Like you got a band over there, a band over here. Because we walked it around. We were there early and walked the grounds a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how they have different stages there.
And it's packed in front of all of them.
Yeah. So, and they've got, like we were playing in one, and they'll have country, and another one they'll have, Rock and another one, and
Yeah, like it was us, and then we went to the hotel after we got off, and then Chuy Lizarga was there too. Remember Chuy Lizarga?
So the Mexican American Festival, they have like, there in Wisconsin, you have Los Angeles Azules over here and Shelly Ladas over here,
right.
and
they pack,
man. And it's like, what the hell, and it gets packed. You know what I mean? So this is my first year. I'm going to be a part of it. I can't wait to get out there and be a part of it. Awesome. A lot of the people we've been interviewing, they've either been there or they're going this year. So it's going to be cool, man. I'm going to be able to go live from over there. Maybe do a semi show from there, just to show, hey, Tejano's like, hey, you need to step your game up. These dudes are in Wisconsin over here, putting big crowds together. Yeah. So
it's definitely a really good experience. The event, when we did it, I think I've done it once or twice. So it's been
the thing in Wisconsin, the Mexican American Festival.
Yeah, the festival out there. So it's pretty nice. We got several festivals this year. I know we're doing Casino del Sol in Arizona, Tucson.
How do you do in Arizona, Mike? You get a lot of people, man. I know a lot of people like in Arizona.
It's a good market for me out there. Look at Phoenix and Tucson. Every time we do Casino del Sol, it goes great.
It's hot out there.
I mean, the crowd is great out there. It's almost like going up north, with Arizona. We'll be up there next week on the 29th. And then, of course, we're going back to our stomping grounds. We'll be in La Mesa for it's called Chicken Fried Steak Festival in La Mesa, Texas.
How big is La Mesa, Mike?
Man, it's
small.
It's probably 3,000 people, too, maybe more. Actually, my sister was born there. And so she's like, y'all are going where I was born. I'm like, yeah, we'll be out there. But, we're doing La Mesa. Then we do a church festival in Midland the day after, May 1st. Then we're going to go do a festival in Saginaw, Michigan. We're going to have we're going to be doing an event out there on the 7th of May. Of course, remember, Toda la Raza in Belton area, we're going to be doing a Cinco de Mayo Fest there at Chef's Barbecue. We're also doing, let me see what else. We're doing a big festival with Alicia Villarreal also in Kingsville. Elida's going to be there. Many artists are going to be there at that event. And so that's coming up the 21st of May.
I think my boys, they're my homies, man. Jordan Rodriguez and Grupo Asalto are opening up for you guys.
In Chef's Barbecue.
That's at that place.
Cinco de Mayo Fest.
Yeah, those guys, man, I love their music, dude.
Really?
I love their music. Like, we do the show Frito Pie Friday, and we do a lot of artists that maybe they just don't get enough radio play.
Right.
And De Nuevo came across, and I played it, and the people were like, yo, what the hell? Why is this not on the radio? And we started playing it, and next thing you know, more people started playing. It's on the radio. He's played here for Fanfare and for Fiesta, and he's played at Far West a couple of times. And I just talked to him yesterday, and he's like, bro, I said, dog, I saw you opening. Are you gonna open up for Michael Salgado? He's like, yep, we're opening up Michael Salgado. So that's cool, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Mike, how do you, before I let you get off the hook, how do you feel? I mean, do you consider one of your artists out there that are you're willing to help these younger artists that are trying to come into the onda, and you know what I mean? Because
well, definitely, and we've kind of tried to do that before, but it just I don't know if some of the acts know what's entailed and as far as what needs to be done and things like that, and it's just like I said, there's no magic wand to it. You got to keep working it, and so some people kind of they believe and they don't believe, and maybe they think we have a different agenda. So it's kind of hard, to kind of bring in a new band. They got to really be willing to kind of listen to somebody who's been in the business so long, to kind of guide them in the right way. And it's hard, because cada cabeza es un mundo, como dice el dicho, ¿no? Everybody's their own world. And so people have different thoughts and opinions about what they think should be done. So that's why I've kind of worked with my son right now, and because we've worked with some different artists here and there, but for whatever reason things don't work out and they want to do
their own thing.
Do their own thing, and that's great, but one thing, I mean, I've been there and been doing it for 27 years, and thank God, and the fans, got to be doing something right because we're still here, and so, we just I try to kind of teach the bands those kind of things, but everybody's different, and so you can't teach everybody kind of the way you came into the business, and they don't want to do it that way, or I don't want to make that kind of money, and I want to make this money, and but you're not there yet, so you can't do it, and it's just
so hard, man. It's when I talk to my friends who there's some artists that have just been grinding for a long time. They just they've never got a chance. They never got a cut. Right. And there's artists that are new, and in my conversations in between, like just trying to find that medium, like how much am I worth? Like, I'm not gonna drive over there and you're gonna give me $700. Like, it's just not worth my time, right? But then you look at it as a promoter.
Close to that either,
right? But you I'm like, we're not gonna be close, right? No, but I'm saying
as far as per band members, what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about the price, like so. Yeah. Oh, so like it's hard because you look at it as a promoter, right? Like, okay, well, the promoter wants to make money. You know what I'm saying? So you bring in a band that people don't know, might know. Yeah. What are you going to charge? Like, it's just hard all around to please everybody.
You don't know if they're going to make their own money because like this band. I mean, I won't talk about price, but my son is the one who said, bring them in and like I'm really doing that show myself, right?
Yeah.
We're doing the show. So I told them, this is what we can offer. I mean, if they're interested.
Let's do it.
We can do it. If not, then it's kind of hard because it's not a known band.
Right.
It's hard to pay on a band that you're te la vas a rifar, you don't know if they're going to make their own money back or not.
No.
Or you're going to come out of pocket. So that's where the risk has to take place from the band, right? Do you want to be? I mean, I wish I could have been in those positions where I could have played for a known band. The only place we did that was in Lubbock, Texas, because the promoter would put us in at a place called Crystal's. His name was Johnny Daly, and I appreciate the guy. Good gentleman, always put us in. I mean, we only charged $300, and we're coming from Stanton, Texas to Lubbock, Texas, 2-3 hours out.
Hey, enough for the gas, water burger to get back.
Enough for the gas, $50 a piece. But we were going to be placed with a big band, right? We were playing for Maz, and we were playing for, then we were playing for Shelly, we were playing for David Mares, we were playing for Excelencia.
Wow.
Opening up for these bands, right? And we were making $300. We weren't going to make any money, but for me, and I would tell the guys, it's not about the money. We need to get out there where people can see us. We don't have to do it all the time, but are we going to play for $300 here or $200 at a bar, right? Where who's going to see us. So that's what bands that are starting. But what I noticed with bands, because we've tried to put a band together for Andy, right? For Andres. Yeah. And band members are saying, well, I want to make $200, $300 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's just not.
It's just not doable.
It's not doable. And I know, band members, they have their jobs, and some people have their jobs, and I just don't see that hunger anymore like when we would play, right? We would play, we're making $50 a band.
Lo que sea, dude.
Right.
A water burger after, I'm happy, bro.
Because for me, like I tell him, it's got to be about the right song, man. Like, if I wouldn't have ever got Cruz de Madera, I might not ever got the right song and wouldn't be here today. So it has to do with the right song. And, I always think my primo, Jose Salgado, who has written songs like El Gallo Desplumado, Muñeco, all those hits that I've had, he brought that song to my attention. And he said, and I had heard it with Rubén Ramos because he recorded it. And we were coming from playing at a bar in Lubbock in the van going home. And I heard on the radio, Una Cruz de Madera de la Más Corriente. And, I was like, oh, he's got a new song out. And didn't think nothing of it. And then we were at a get-together at my uncle's house, and my primo came and he said, hey, Michael, there's a song that's out. Es una canción que está afuera. Y Una Cruz de Madera, Tejano Group plays it. Rubén Ramos. Pero si tú la grabas a tu estilo, I think it'll hit, right? Con acordeón. And I said, nah, but I'll give it a whirl. And I still remember we're going to play at a bar in Midland, and we're in the van. I was like, "Na Cruz de Madera es la más corriente," messing with it in the van, right? And I remember playing it at that bar. We practiced it, and then once we got it down, we kind of put in that lick. And that lick is from, it was like that's from another song, right? We just kind of got that lick and put it into Cruz de Madera, right? Where you did like, right? So we picked that lick up and we played the song. And I remember and now I think about it and go like, man, I didn't know that I had a gem there, right?
Right.
I had this diamond or whatever you want to call it, right? And so I remember the people, we played it, and then we would play there like every 2 weeks, that bar, right? So we went back, and then people started going like, hey,
La Cruz.
Play that song, Cruz de Madera, no? And we not even knowing then that we had something there, they were asking for a song that, nada que ver. And we started playing it. And so when we went and I put my song list together of what I was going to record, back in the studio, Cruz de Madera was part of those songs, right? And I was betting on the song that I had done, El Día que Te Fuiste, no? Because that song also did well, pero, we put it out. I'm like, well, and then we said, well, we'll go with Cruz de Madera next. The label said, well, we're going to go with Cruz de Madera. And, I didn't think nothing of it because I was younger then, didn't really pay attention to lyrics and things like that, right? But you think about it now, you're older, wiser, you're like, Cruz de Madera, la más corriente, that's all I want when I die. Pues that's raza, right? They don't want nothing de valor. They just, que se haga una fiesta y poríamos and, remember the person that died.
For sure.
La gente pobre, no? So that's kind of where that song came to be. But, it took that song to kind of place me where I'm at today. And it came from the advice of un primo mío, right? So I always kind of, when he tells me about songs and stuff, I always listen, because he brought me that gem, that Cruz de Madera, and I just kind of did it. And that's why I tell him, like, he sometimes Andres wants to do songs that have been done, and I'll tell him, okay, but if you're gonna do it, you got to do it your way, because I read that in a book. I always remember that. I always remember that from that movie. What is it? Man, I can't remember.
I read that
Ben
in the book
Stiller, one of those guys.
Yeah.
And I read in a book, right, a music book of artists that said, you can make any song as long as you make it your style. There's always a possibility that song could hit for you, right? Because Cruz de Madera was already out, and I remember performing that song. It was very popular at the time in the 90s, and Ruben Ramos was playing, and he said, well, we got this, new artist, Chavalon. I was probably 23 then, man, 24. And he was like, he did this song. I did it too, but it hit for him. And, I'm going to let him play it for y'all. And it was just, it's an honor to meet Ruben, then and everything. But that's how, kind of this song came to be my style. I just did a ranchera con acordeon, and it was a song that was already done, but I did it my way and it worked. So I always tell him, we can do songs like I did La Media Vuelta, right? Because that's a big song with Luis Miguel, but I did it and it worked for me in the market, right? It was a strong song in the 90s for me también. Still, people ask for it today. But if you make a song yours, it didn't matter, who did it. I mean, perfect example, Chris Stapleton did Tennessee Whiskey. They did his style, and it just, who was
blew
Chris?
up. Now everybody wants to do it that style.
So that's what I tell him. It's important that we get a song, that we make it your style. But right now we're working with original music with him to kind of get him established with an original song. Right. Not so much a cover. Yeah. So it's not said that, well, you did a cover and that's why. But
that's why you hit.
I still get the fire still blowing on my back about Amor el Bote, because that song was put out 1990, but just with his album. Yeah. And I still get fire from that. Like,
I did that.
People still get fire on. They put fire on my back all the time. They're like, "Oh, well, he just did his dad's song." No,
but
man.
I did it faster. You did it your style.
He did it his way, and that's all you got to do. Is, you can always, because I'm thinking of doing some country tunes that have already been done, and then just redo them now, but because they're country tunes from
Way back in the day.
way back the 80s, and I thought about doing them. I mean, I don't know yet if I'm going to record them or maybe do them as
what do you
covers.
think? What do you think? I'm gonna put you on the spot, Mike.
Well, I'm thinking of doing like the Gambler,
Yeah, I mean, a little piece. How would it go? A little
like,
piece.
On a warm summer's eve, on a plane bound to nowhere, met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep. So some,
Whoa, dude, that would you would bring that, you'd blow dust off that one. That wouldn't be.
Or worst case, I would do it as a cover at a show, But I've thought of doing the Gambler. I've thought of doing the next teardrop falls from Freddie Fender.
Yeah, Freddie Fender, yeah.
I'll be there before the next teardrop falls.
Cowboy Rides Away.
Redo it. Maybe. I haven't really thought of that one, but I thought of. I've got them on a list. I have to look at them, but there are some country tunes, especially Kenny Rogers, right? Because it's kind of my raspy
His voice,
voice.
yeah, raspy voice. It matches.
So
for sure.
there's some songs in there that I like of Kenny Rogers, but if I don't record them, I may do them, throw them in as a cover for a show, as just cover.
Hey, dude, you play the Gambler. I promise you, that's gonna be your Cruz and Madera. People will be like, hey, that Gambler one. Can you play it? Can you play it again?
Right.
Can you play
And
it
then you
again?
can get the crowd to participate because I remember doing that song. We played a show in San Diego, California, and then we went out after because it was early, right?
Yeah.
Me and my wife, which is my girlfriend then, but we went out with some other the bands. Some of the other band members came out. We went to a place that did karaoke, so they had the Gambler, right? So I did the Gambler there.
And hey, Mike, did people know who you were?
No, they didn't know who I was there.
That's awesome, dude. Right there.
So I did the Gambler, and then you had the crowd that would participate. And then I'd be like, everybody, you got to know when to hold them.
Yeah.
And the crowd was singing. So it'd be cool because of that, because the crowd, everybody knows the Gambler.
Yeah.
And so it'd be cool, like now more for the platform also, the covers is kind of welcome now, when you do platform music. And so but like I said, I would be very selective on, like the Gambler would be one. And, I'd pick another country song that would kind of work.
Am I gonna let your beard grow out like real thick, like Kenny, like
I don't know, man. I've tried, but it just starts itching real bad. So I keep it low.
I get you, man. Andres, let me ask you something. I wanted to ask you something earlier, and it's the top of my head, man. Growing up here in San Antonio, dude, your dad being Michael Salgado, I've never really got to ask a child, of who your dad is.
Yeah.
How was that for you, like in high school, bro?
It was horrible. It was horrible, man. I mean, like, dude, I would get like some girls that were like they're probably about my age. They'd be like, "Man, your dad's so hot." I'd be like, "I don't care." or they'd be like, "Hey, is your dad rich?" I'd be like, "So what? Just because he's a singer, he's rich?"
Yeah, dude. I say that all the time.
That's literally why, right? And I'm like, he's just a normal guy, man. He's just like us. Like, it's just we get to sing for a living, and y'all have to work outside. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. I could see that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that.
I say this all the time. A artist, B artist, C artist. Raza doesn't see that. You walk on a stage with an instrument and you put a microphone in front of yourself. Yeah. You're rich. That's just the way we are. That's just automatically like, hey, no, esos vatos tienen feria.
Now you see a guy at the store, he has like Gucci shirt on or like some Guess shoes. Yeah. Oh, that dude has money.
Yeah, he's got money.
He's got money, man. He's
rich.
I
might be wearing Guess shoes, Gucci, but my wallet's empty.
Yeah.
My wallet's empty. Speaking of wallets, a big shout out to my buddy Joey Jimenez. He gifted me with the Louis Vuitton wallet, dude. That's a camarada right there. Nice. I just gotta go. I'm gonna go get it tested to see if it's real or not.
No. Did he get it at the?
Hey, they sell those things on Amazon.
I know, bro. I don't know.
My dad, big guy in Amazon.
It smells.
Yeah, I'm a big guy.
Hey, he needs to get Jeff Bezos to give him like a sponsorship.
Amazon.
Are you the dude where you're every day there's an Amazon guy at your house?
Village, there you go.
No, I don't buy every day, but I mean, you can almost find everything in Amazon, right?
Literally everything.
Like, and Amazon is so organized. Like, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, the way they have everything set up, or this didn't fit and you return it and you go down the store and you leave it there. I mean, I just love the way they have their setup. It's like amazing. You can buy everything there. Like the other day, I need this, but okay, well, I'll just find it. I mean, we were looking for trash bags, right? We run out of trash bags at home, right? Then my wife said, well, I can buy them on Amazon. And then sure enough, we got them this morning. So it's like, I mean, you have to go to the store anymore. You buy everything.
And they shop a lot on Amazon.
Damn.
Everything. All
Well,
his
my
shirts,
wife shops
they're-
on there more
man.
than me.
I know the driver's
"Stop doing
name.
it."
I know the driver's name. Like he comes by,
yeah?
I tell him, I tell that guy every day, hey, if I see, look right there, just look right there, brother.
Oh,
Look
there's
right there,
an
it's Amazon
Amazon
box.
box right there.
There it is.
Like I'm like, dude, if you come on my house one more time, I swear to God, he goes, hey, sir, I'm sorry, I just doing my job.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's cool. Do you know, like, where else you gonna find out that Michael Salgado loves using Amazon? Right here on Bumpers.
I actually want
Wacky
to see about. I was telling my daughter we need to see about putting our merch on Amazon, right? Because
Do they sell records? I never looked.
well, I don't know about records, but merch like my daughter loves BTS, right? Mm-hmm. The band Katrina, which is also a big part of the company, right? Because I haven't brought her out, but she's a big part of the administration side of the company, right? She pays everything, make sure I pay everything, taxes and things like that.
Yeah.
And she also books Katrina, so you know they're kind of all part. Mike Jr., Katrina.
I'm gonna tell you guys this right now, though. When you're dealing with Kat, you better be on your toes.
Yeah. She's pretty firm.
Pretty straightforward.
She's straightforward and she's firm. You're not gonna bullshit left or right. You better be direct with what you gotta say.
Oh, yeah,
So she's definitely very firm in what she
Sometimes I have
does
to
in
tell
the
her-
business. What is that?
Oh, he has that one. He has that same one.
What is it?
In his
Oh,
office.
Oh, it's on Amazon.
Oh, you doing one? You ever
Oh,
thought
it is?
about doing a liquor, Mike?
What is that?
That's a Tragos
I was
Amargos
saying if you
tequila,
ever thought
right?
about doing a liquor, your own liquor.
Oh yeah, I would, but the thing is, see, I started with tequila, right, and then
okay.
have some bad memories with tequila. So now I do whiskey. So yeah, if there's anybody out there, actually my bad. I'm supposed to call somebody. I should have called them already. I was supposed to call somebody about a new whiskey that's coming out, a Texas whiskey, to talk about a sponsorship, right? And I need to call them still. And so I'm sorry, guys, I am going to call. But you know, I'm more of a whiskey guy now, so I think that I would love a sponsorship.
There's a lot of local. There's a lot of local whiskeys.
But yeah, local whiskeys, a lot of local whiskeys. I mean, I'd be interested in something like that. But so I just kind of went to whiskey now in the gigs, right? My brother does tequila, and he's doing tequila. And I mean, I like tequila, but it's just, I spent a lot of
the next day with tequila.
I spent a lot of time in the restroom with tequila, right?
Mike,
And you know what I'm talking about.
Mike, let me tell you. I'm gonna break it down in a 30-second story.
All right.
The man here on the wall that people can't see,
Right.
he passed away. Right when he passed away, it hit me like a ton of bricks because he just like I told you, your music just there's every song for every part of life. There's something, you know what I mean. You could every song just it takes you back somewhere.
Definitely.
So when Chente died, I sat right here in my chair, dude, and I went live like an idiot, playing songs. People were on, and I started doing for every song that came on. I would take a tequila shot. Me chingué toda la botella de tequila gone.
Oh man.
I didn't have no more tequila, so I went and got a Bucana's bottle. And I started on that. I was live for 4 hours. They're deleted, so don't try to go and find them. They're deleted. Right?
And I didn't even know it.
And my wife's like, "You were crying like you lost like I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen you cry like that." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Wow.
So long story short is, I started the live at like 4:30 in the afternoon. At 2:30 in the morning, I was sitting here with my headphones on, my microphone right here, and I had a blanket.
What?
So I look, and I'm looking. It's like, God, please don't let me be on live like this all the time, right? So I go and I had signed off, right? I had signed off, but the next day I watched him, and I just saw myself from sober to what tequila does to you. Like you could just literally see yourself. My eyes are closing.
Wow.
You know, words started slurring, and it was just,
Right.
I was with every song was like, oh my. So on live.
You got to
You
feel
know,
the real
you got
bumper.
to see the real bumper with tequila and Chente playing. It took me to a whole nother level. But
You were brave.
I immediately deleted those because I was like, man, somebody's gonna come back and be like,
I
God
know.
damn, Bump, you.
I've been there with my dad a couple
That's what I'm
times.
saying. You were brave to be like,
Ooh,
I
man.
could do that.
So I too, Mike, I've moved from tequila to, I still love a good tequila, man.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure.
But I moved to whiskey, bourbon. You know, I
bourbon.
love the Bullet. Bullet's just
Yeah,
like
Bullet's good.
for the price and the way it tastes
I don't
all
know how
day.
y'all do it.
you know what I'm starting. Well, I started to drink too now.
The single barrel.
The
Here
price
it
is
goes.
good. No, I'm now drinking Buffalo Trace,
Oh,
which is, I mean, for the price, it's great. I mean, I get like 5 bottles. No, not really. No, but
Yeah.
it's some good tequila. Actually, Edward, got me.
Mm-hmm.
Started on. He gave me some because I was drinking barrel bourbon, and then I was doing what is it, Makers, like Makers 46, and there's Jack Daniel's. Jack Daniel's single barrel is a good one also.
yeah, that's the one you gave me.
Right, that's a good one. But now I just went to Buffalo Trace. It's really good too. I mean,
Buffalo Trace, if you're listening,
yeah,
the legend, Michael Salgado, right here.
definitely.
I don't know how y'all do it.
Edward
man.
told me that was out since before the.
Oh, Buffalo Trace that's an old thing, but it's
It's
just
an old whiskey.
sometimes whiskey's like music, bro. Honestly, like you just can come across something to you, it's new. Somebody like, no, but dude, that shit's been
Yeah.
around. You're like, no, just because you just got to it, or you
Right,
just
right.
started.
Tons of
Just like
people
I told you, the movie,
yeah.
right? This is
Yeah,
a prime
yeah.
example. I just
Warrior.
saw this movie when you were like, dude, that movie's awesome. So
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's cool, man. It's again, Mike, I think what you're doing is great for our cultura. You're covering the whole gambit of who we are, especially focus here down in South Texas, definitely what we are. Andres, I wish you nothing but the best, bro. I'm
Appreciate it, thank
you know, all the singles that you put out, we've jammed them here.
Nice.
Yeah, I got older
Appreciate that,
kids,
thank
and we like to listen to music. Like we sit around and just like jam stuff that
Right.
you're not gonna hear on the radio, or whatever.
Definitely.
And that's why I asked you, Mike. Like I'm really big on just trying to help as much as I can. And what I do in the show is trying to bring forth new artists and get the people who love Cruz Madera,
Right.
right? Open up your I think our fan base
Open-minded
sometimes,
a little.
right? Be a little more open minded. That's all. That's all I ask the fan base. Just be a little more open minded. Times change.
Yeah.
Music change, times
evolve.
change. So it's cool, man. I want to give some shout outs, man, to the Familia Aguilar there in Arizona. I want to give to my buddy, the redneck Mexican boy I met the other day. I got to sit down, dude, the other day with man, I'm having a brain fart, but if you watch the Bumpers YouTube, it'll be on there. One of the guys from, what was it, Felipe? The Gypsy Kings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And that was totally different for me, like the whole Spaniard kind of way. It was pretty cool. You guys got to check it out.
Check it out.
Hey, we for sure gotta shout out Mario Reyes. He said I need a Red Bull.
Yeah, he did. He told you earlier. He was like, Mario.
He's like, give Andres a Red Bull.
He was the guy that was telling you. He was the guy that was the Marine recruiter that.
Oh,
really? yeah?
Yeah, he's the one that told your dad. He was trying to talk Spanish.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
your dad's smoking the whole
Yeah,
time.
he goes,
So-
he told him on there, he goes, hey, someone needs to give Andres a Red Bull. I looked that tired, I guess.
Yeah, hey,
I was
man.
falling asleep over here, I ain't gonna lie.
I-
My dad gets talked a lot.
I want to thank everybody yesterday. Yesterday I went into surgery early in the morning, and I want to thank everybody that stopped and prayed for me. It was a successful surgery. I'm hiding it pretty well for sure right now, but it is here. It is broken. Shout out to Grupo Macizo, who will be on the show next week. Grupo Macizo will be
Nice.
either. Well, I don't know. I got to get with them. They want me to go over there, but now I didn't have a broken foot. Now I got a broken foot. So it's kind of hard to do. We're going to work it out. I want to give a thanks to everybody that's been tuning in on the Bumper Gomez YouTube channel. We're simulcasting live. To everybody watching on Tejano Nation, the Tejano Nation page. We also cross-posted Tejano Nation. Thank you guys for tuning in. to It's Tejano Time. He just started it again. You remember It's Tejano Time? He's from Dallas. He used to do interviews back in the 90s. Well, he fell out for a long time, and Fanfare started. He's like, man, I'm gonna start it again. He's back doing it again, man. So shout out to those guys. Let's see who else is out there. I don't want to forget. There's so many people that were on here. Hey guys, I'm so sorry if I can't get to the comments. This is really I'm one person talking to Mike. I don't want him to see me looking at the screen, but really this interview, like I told Mike, it's just you guys got to hear stories that you'll never ever hear on a microphone on a stage somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just you get to see another side of Mike that you guys wouldn't see. And then Andres is here. He's born in the business and he's still grinding. And he's a barber. So Andres, where can they get a haircut from you?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I actually
now he's up. Now he's up.
No, I actually worked for a guy, man. He's real super cool, super understanding. His name's Mark.
What's the name of the place?
Dapper G Cuts.
Dapper G Cuts. Where's it located
there's
at?
One, I think it's 2804 Quiet Place Drive or Quiet Plain Drive. Sorry.
Yeah, that where you're at?
That's where I'm at right now. He has a couple locations, General McMullen. People that live, on the west side of town. If you want to go there, it's on there. But I'm over there going towards off of Highway 90 and what is that? I think it's Ray Ellison Drive.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with
who's your
San
top
Antonio.
3 local barbers that are legends in your book?
For me, there's a guy named J-Lo Casso.
Okay.
Casso, I think that's his name.
Man, my boy better be in the top 3. I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, bro, who?
Keep going. You got one down. You got 2 more guesses.
For sure, Rob the original.
Rob the original.
Man, that dude's. I mean, just him making a portrait of Biggie. What is it? The Notorious.
Okay, you got
B.I.G.
one more. You got one more.
Man, what's that guy's name, man? That I know.
He's right there with Rob the original. To me, because he's my friend. He's better.
He's your friend. I mean, well,
Joe the barber.
No, not him.
But I'll tell you, that's my buddy.
Joe the barber.
Joe the barber. He does all those portraits, and he does like like he's done for the Spurs.
I never.
He won the barber battle, the first ever barber battle there ever was with Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh yeah.
He won the national barber battle.
Wow, that's
was
awesome.
was
Hey,
Joe the barber here? He's here from San Antonio.
So
shout out
here,
to
what?
yeah, he's here. He's got House of Cards barbershop.
I know
House of Cards out there like 151 and and
Right
410.
there,
Probably not
right
gonna
there by
hire you
Petrino.
now since you didn't know who he was.
No, man.
man,
I really looked up to this one guy. He's based out of Puerto Rico. He's Puerto Rican. His name is Victor Stylo. I don't know if you ever see him. You ever looked him up, man? Victor Stylo. He just he cuts all of like the reggaetoneros.
I know that Alex, Puerto Rican dude that lives in
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
Yeah,
I met
A-Rod's
him.
good, man. He's real good. He works with Rob a lot. I've seen him do like what
He's
is
got
it?
his own gloves.
Tag
He's got his
team.
own.
Yeah, man.
Stuff.
That dude is. I mean, rocking a Cartier bust down watch. I mean, he must be making some type of money.
Cutting hair, Mike.
Yeah.
Como ves?
Hey,
And you're out there grinding ciggy, bro.
No, I mean, there was a guy, man, that was on TikTok that he was a barber, and they were asking him, "Hey, man, how much do you make like a year?" He goes, just off of his shop, he was making like $900K, just off of a shop. But then within like I think like 2 years, he was making around 1.2 million, like off of just owning shops. You know what I mean?
Hey,
he had
man.
like 15, 16 shops.
yeah.
We ain't all rich down here in San Antonio. We be paying, but shit, a haircut nowadays ain't $10 no
50
more.
bucks
yeah.
now.
Man,
60,
I paid
J-Lo
30,
Casso said.
$35 for a haircut, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm a Marine.
There'll be some dudes.
I'm
hey,
used
man,
to I'm used to that $7 cut. You sit down in 2 minutes, your ass is up.
Yeah.
They got another person in there in 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's dudes out here that be charging like the most I've ever gotten is like $120 a cut.
Crazy, man.
But that's because they give you a whole service. You got the beard, you got the facial, you got
gotta do it all,
wax,
the brows.
you got everything. You know what I mean, in one big package. And some guys will pay it that can't some they're too busy during the day. They want to just get someone to go to them. They'll usually pay it.
That's
just
crazy.
because they won't get a haircut for like 3 weeks, like my dad, for example.
Yeah, like when I hire, like when I get him to cut my hair, like I mean that's the most I ever paid for a cut. I'm like, yeah.
Dang, no dad discount, bro.
This is the guy that taught me business is business, man. He taught me
Hey, there you
Trust
go.
me.
There you go,
I mean,
man.
you gotta chart. I mean,
I'm not gonna cut into his business, right? I'm just saying, from where when I used to get a cut, and now like the barbers charge, and like it's up there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's up there. But I mean, everybody's got to make their own, and if the better you are, then the more you make.
Hey, Mike, just remember the studio time fee, though.
right?
What? What are you
oh, trust me.
The
it's a
studio
lot.
time fee, baby.
No, I mean, and I'll tell you a little quick story, real quick. Because I understand you probably
signing
got
off
time
already.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. There was a gig I booked. When my brother booked, right, and they were booking me for $3,500 for like 3 songs, right, to sing for a quinceañera.
God,
pretty good.
damn,
Okay,
that's pretty
no.
good.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you what. I'll tell you more. Well, they booked me for $3,500. What they didn't tell me is that I wasn't probably gonna make any money, right? I figured, well, shoot, I'll make $3,500. I'm gonna come home with some money, right? Well, my dad always taught me when you want to be a boss in your own company or whatever, your own artistry, or I can't really pronounce it here. But if you ever want to book gigs, you have to understand you got people that you have to pay. You have to, not only that, the people that book it, they take about usually like 10% off of the top. So that's like $1,000 usually sometimes. So I make $3,500, but really I paid for a hotel, I paid for the car to rent to get there, all the food for the people that were going with me, and not only that, I paid for all the people that booked the show. So I didn't get left with nothing. I didn't make nothing. That shit. I just went and did the show, and came home and.
Hey, but you had a good time.
Right.
Oh yeah, I had a good time, man.
He must have rented an expensive hotel.
I mean, Holiday Inn one. That's like $150.
He must have rented a Rolls Royce or something.
Hey, Mike,
never saw that money.
I
Someone
saw
took it.
you watching this. I saw you in the back going like, man,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an expensive thing.
Yeah, if you didn't make any money at $3,500, I'm like, where did the money?
Yeah, you taught me that. You're like, oh well, hey man,
Well, no, you got expenses, because you got everything like, when my bus takes off, it's like
$400 to fill
I know
up.
what,
Good God.
and diesel's not cheap right now, but I mean, it can become. But I tell him, if you're gonna have a band and things like that, it's not like when you're coming and playing with me and you do your 3 songs with me with my band, right? Because we kind of, we play the songs and he does them in the shows for now. And that's what I tell him for now. You just do that because the overhead is high, and
Yeah.
when you get a hit song, then you get your own band, and then
You can do your own
I see
thing.
the hundreds. Just
But it's just it's expensive too.
So Mike, before I let you guys go, I got to mention 2 people. One is my brother, Edward Garza, your bass player.
Yes, sir.
crazy
Dude, just
brother-in-law.
talented songwriter.
Yeah.
Just a great guy. I want to give him a big shout.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, because he would not let me leave the show without giving him a shout out, is a legendary sound engineer, G-Man.
G-Man.
So
Yeah.
G-Man, whenever I see a post at like 4:30 in the morning and he's like on a plane going somewhere, please play for us for a safe trip.
Right.
I said he's with Michael. If he's like every time, and I'm never wrong. Like he's going on a trip with you somewhere.
Really? Yeah.
Mike. So that means to tell me that the guy knows what he's doing. If you're taking him around with you around the United States, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. He's been, he's worked with me a lot of years, and so, it makes the show and just puts you at ease when you have somebody that
Knows what you
what they
expect.
got to do when it comes to production and things like that, and he knows, so it's good to have him as part of the team. It was like, Edward was like you were saying, he does a lot of songwriting. He's done a lot of songs. Did a lot of songs on my latest album, which is Hijo de Rancho.
Mm-hmm.
He did Linda Princesa. He did Si Tú Me Dejaras. He did Borracho Perdido.
That's wild, man.
There's a few in there he did Con Este Ritmo.
Mm-hmm.
They did really well. So there's a lot of songs in there that are his, of his songwriting, and so
From Beeville, Texas. Just don't get it,
Texas.
Texas.
That's right. And so
They got the heat.
but just got a good team, and that helps to have a good team around you, to kind of help things. It got the band. My brother's been with me forever, And so, that kind of helps as well. We know what we got to do on
you guys
stage.
can feed off each other. Like,
Yeah.
You already know your mind on like, hey, one more time. Or I mean, you see it when you see good bands. You see those little things. For me, now that I do this and I'm paying more attention, I watch like, okay, I never would have saw that. I never would have saw Mike like done like this or whatever.
Right.
And that means like, hey, that's it. We're done right here. Kill it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's cool, man. But Mike, Andres, I want to thank you guys, bro, for coming and hanging out with the broke leg guy here in the studio, man. Mike, if there's any saludos that you want to do, man, before we cut off, Andres, same thing. If there's any saludos you want to give, or where are you going to be at in the next couple of weeks, so these guys can come out there and support you.
Definitely. I mean, salud para toda la raza, all the fans that connected tonight. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me, Bumper. And Andres also tonight, once again. Saludos a todos. Like I said, we got some upcoming shows that are coming up. Next week we'll be in Tucson, Arizona, April 29th, Casino del Sol, Chicken Fried Steak Festival in La Mesa, Texas. I got to try that, right? And then we're going to be at the Church of Guadalupe in Midland, Texas for an event there on May 1st. May 5th, we're going to be at Chef's Barbecue. Also, también por ahí está el grupo, ¿no? It's going to be opening up for us there as well. I think it's Asalto, right? You said?
Yeah, Asalto, Grupo Asalto.
Come and check them out. New band. They sound good, so come and check them out. Support them. And we're going to be also the 7th of May. We're going to be in Saginaw, Michigan Festival. It's going to be early. It's like from 12 to 5. Like, we're going to actually fly
Tariada right there, for real.
We're actually going to fly in Friday night. I guess we get there like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then, get some rest and be ready to showtime at 2 in the afternoon. And then we might do a show in Toledo. That's still up in the air. But we might do a show out there in Toledo and on May 7th. Then from there, we're going to do Alamo, Texas, Dolores del Valle. We're going to be out there at El Far West in Alamo, Texas. Join us out there the 13th of May, 14th of May. We're going to be in Brownwood, Texas. The place is called Club 325, I believe. So come out to Dolores, Brownwood, surrounding cities. Then we're going to do the 19th, Corpus Christi at Whiskey Rio. So come out and join us, Whiskey Rio, Tola Rosa, por ahí, Corpus. The 21st, we're going to be doing that big festival con Alicia Villarreal in Kingsville, Texas.
Yeah,
Make sure to check that out. I don't remember the name of the festival, but it's going to be us. Ailey, they'll be out there. A lot of other bands, great bands, so don't miss that festival. Then we're going to be in Lordsburg, New Mexico. Tola Rosa, por ahí, Lordsburg, all that area of New Mexico. We're going to be at a festival out there on the 29th of May. Then we're going to be...
How in the hell does he remember all this? I have no idea.
I completely agree with you because, man, he forgets everything. His wallet, his keys, everything, man.
And we're also going to be in Salt Lake City, Kansas, un evento festival allá para la radio. En Salt Lake City, Kansas, para toda la raza por allá. El 5 de junio, ¿no? El 3, 4 de junio, no me acuerdo, pero ya les avisamos en todas las redes sociales. And we're going to be the 10th. We're going to be at the Rooftop in Houston, Texas. Come out and join us the 10th of June. 11th, we're going to be at, I think it's called, if I get it right, Putters and Gutters in...
Yeah, I think it's
Putters and Gutters.
Yeah, it's called Putters and Gutters. They have like a nice Putters and Gutters. We did a festival out there, and it was great. So we're going to be out there again the 11th of June. That's in Lampasas, I believe. Don't quote me on the city, but Putters and Gutters, 11th of June. Then we're going to be in Silver City, New Mexico. We're going to be the 18th, I believe, of June. Then the 24th, we're going to be, the 24th, 25th, we're going to be in McKinney, Texas.
I need somebody to verify all these.
Right? But no, and it goes on. Oh, and the important one, July 30th, we're going to be in Las Vegas at the Fremont Country Club. So toda la raza from up there north, all West Coast, come on, join us.
What happens in
Fremont Country Club, 30th of July. We're going to be out there echándole ganas con el acordeón. We'll see if we do some country out there. A ver qué nos toca hacer allá. Pero make sure you join. If you want to have a getaway to Las Vegas, come out and join us that week in July the 30th. We're going to be in Brighton, Colorado on the 7th of August. También come on, join us for that. And there's probably some other festivals. Oh yeah, September we've got.
Mike, I'm literally, I'm being real with you. I am just like blown right now that you can.
Now, he said some days,
Dude,
not all of them.
No, bro, no. That's cool because
almost all year.
You know, there's some artists coming like, hey, bro, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, dog. Bro, that's where I'm playing at. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, a couple more. July 15th, we're gonna be in Dallas at New West. Toda la raza Dallas, right? New West, July 15th. We've got the 6 September weekend. We're gonna be the 15th. We're in man, I can't remember the city, but you guys look. We'll be putting up in social media. But it's a festival. The 16th, I think we're doing a festival in Marble Falls. Maybe it's gonna be a festival. That's actually to raise money for a cancer child, right? So we really want people to come out to that event. It's actually not a festival. It's like a fundraiser for the 6 September, but it's to raise money for this little girl who's going through cancer right now.
Got you.
So please come out and join us for that. It's going to be in Marble Falls. We'll be posting that on all my social media. The 17th will be in Kerrville for a festival out there.
In September.
So we'll be pretty busy that weekend, but we'll let you guys know. Remember, my social media fan page under Michael Salgado. Instagram is under official Michael Salgado. Snapchat is under El Zurdo Michael. Twitter's under Michael Salgado _. I'm in LinkedIn under Michael Salgado too. My website is michaelsalgado.com to check out all the merch and things. But we normally post every week, or even weeks to come, where we're going to be. So we'll let all the fans know. Thank you guys. We love you guys. Appreciate all the support.
If not, just call Mike and he'll give you all the dates.
Yeah, literally, just right on.
Shit. I'm impressed. So, hey, guys, if you're watching, if you're a new artist, if you don't know your dates like that, you need to get on your game because that guy just gave about 8 months of gigs right now, one after another.
I think I just got lucky then. Man, I had some in mind already.
So, Mike, Andres, guys, thank you guys so much. To everybody watching, man, thank you guys. Keep the Onda live wherever you're at. Make sure you go out. You're supporting these guys wherever you might see him. And from now until September, he's busy.
That's right.
So make sure if they're near you, you go out and support them, show them some love. Tell them you saw them on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, man. And Mike, hopefully that I'll have you in 2023 back here in the studio. Maybe we'll have some upgrades and do some bigger.
I'll have a driver next time.
There you have a driver. We'll have a driver next time.
No, primero Dios, espero estar por aquí contigo, bro. Y todo por ahí, todos los fans. Meanwhile, pues, you guys keep supporting aquí el buen amigo Bumper and his Wacky Wednesdays por ahí. Check him out and subscribe to his YouTube, toda la cosa. I'll be back. Andres, we'll be back soon. Join you guys.
Hell yeah. Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, another episode in the books. You guys have a great night. Wherever you were watching all over the United States, everybody that was watching from outside of the state of Texas,